Hello, fellow followers, and welcome back to FanZcene Vids. I am FanZcene, and this is the Physical Media Show. With me tonight is Tom from Midnight's Edge, Runner, and Mike has returned from wherever he's been to come join us. I love you, FanZcene. Take off your shirt.
Yeah, no one asked for that shit.
I know, nobody does. But welcome back, guys. I'm glad to have you back on here, and I'm glad to be talking physical media with you and everybody that's going to start trickling in here soon. And hell, Brian Barth and HVP so far. So, want to run down the upcoming releases, or do you want to?
Well, I know you've been putting out videos where you kind of been covering them, so maybe we shouldn't, just so we don't trample on your videos.
I just grab a couple. So, like, if you've seen some of my videos, if there's some that I haven't mentioned, you can bring them up, because I just like kind of do some ones that grab my eye.
Pretty well covered. The only thing I would say is I've been hearing more so. I don't remember if you mentioned this in your video or not, but I've been hearing more so that Tombstone is probably going to be 2023.
Oh, 2023? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I've been hearing. But I'm hoping that means that they'll take the time. Maybe if they're going back to the original negative, they can get a bunch of that footage that never got used before. Maybe they'll bring in Kurt Russell, but I doubt it. Chances are, though, considering one of the teaser arts I saw that was a temporary possible art was in the style of the special edition we got, the Vista series. Yes. So maybe in the very least we'll get the extended cut and all the special features this time. I don't know if you know anything more about it, Mike, but I would assume they're waiting until 2023. That's kind of what I was hearing, and I know Bill Hunt of the Digital Bits had put out there that they'll likely wait till then because it's the anniversary. So
that makes sense.
I hadn't heard anything other than the initial rumor that it might be coming out.
And that's one that I can see Disney definitely doing, because it's one of their more popular films of the Touchstone Hollywood Pictures, whatever.
I know. When I heard it was announced, I really couldn't believe it. Tombstone, and with Disney having it, I didn't think we'd get it for quite some time, to be honest.
Not in 4K, no.
Yeah.
I'm still doubtful we're going to get the extended version, though. I think it'll just be.
It would be nice. Version. It would be nice. The only reason I think we might is because that one art that came out was not the exact same art, but it had that same style. And maybe they will, but I doubt it. Well, more or less, I think the only reason we're getting it in 4K is probably because, as I've been saying, I think they're going off of whatever is popular on like Disney Plus and some of their other streaming services throughout the world. And I'm sure the Tombstone on the adult side of things over on Star and stuff like that is probably watched quite a bit. It's a very popular film, so.
True. And it'd be nice to actually have, like you said, I really wish they would give us all the bells and whistles, because there's so much behind that movie and so much
the
cut
standard
out.
Blu-ray looks like crap.
Yeah, it's just like
not a very good Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I own that Blu-ray, I think. The one that you're probably...
The DVD almost looks as good.
Yeah. And I have that. I have the Vista series DVD with with the map and everything.
That's a nice set.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, whenever we get that extended cut, I'm going to make my dad watch it. I'll tell you that much.
The other one I was more excited about was Heavy Metal.
Oh, yeah. Talk about it. I haven't heard it. I haven't talked about that one, so.
Oh, well, that got moved. That got
moved,
to when?
I didn't hear about that.
Well, it was supposed to come out in March, but I think it got moved a few months.
Oh, that's not so much.
It's still this year, but yeah.
Yeah, Heavy Metal and Heavy Metal 2000, which will be the first time Heavy Metal 2000 has ever been released on anything but DVD and digital that I know of. I'm not like hopped up on 2000, but like it's strange that it's taken this long to get Heavy Metal on 4K, because that's generally a title that Sony will put out there right away on like Laserdisc. They put it on DVD right away. They put it on Blu-ray almost right away. Like, I'm surprised it's taken this long to hit 4K with that one, but I'm interested to see it because I don't have a lot of animated films in 4K. So I'm curious to see how much of an advantage we get with that.
There might have been a lot. There might have been some extensive restoration they needed to do on it, though.
Well, and it all depends on. Yeah, I was gonna say it all depends on whatever masters they used before. I mean, we could have gotten 6th, 7th generation masters before. If they go back to the original negative, it might look fucking gorgeous compared to what we're used to.
Yeah, it's never been pretty on home video, but So hopefully this new 4K release will fix that.
No, it's always been more about the sound and stuff like that. They generally kind of amp up that part of it. And just the fact that it's a popular title, I just surprised it took this long.
It'd be interesting to see. Like I said, I have a few like the DC animated ones on 4K, but that's like newer stuff. So I'd be really interested to see how like the heavy metal, if they go back to the original film elements to see what that would look like in 4K.
Yeah.
Yes, the Best Buy. I did see the Best Buy Punisher Steelbook. It does look pretty good, but it is essentially just the same.
It is the same release, yeah.
Same. I wish they would release the extended cut.
Another one that had an extended cut, yeah.
Yeah.
But
it does look badass.
And they're also re-releasing the Raimi trilogy for Spider-Man on 4K.
Yes. Oh, and I did hear that the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 on 4K set comes out.
Are they finally going to redo these or something like that? Because I've heard.
I think it's just to capitalize off the movie. I think it's just the
same ones. Okay, yeah, because nobody's heard whether or not. It's just okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is it the same transfer?
Well, yeah, probably. And I'm surprised because Sony's been real good about when they do these re-releases that even if they don't get a new master, they'll at least do like Dolby Vision. Like for Karate Kid, they did that. God, there was another movie too. They did the same. Ghostbusters are doing it for as well.
Yeah.
So
they might add that on there. Who knows?
Because I don't know if it was like Tom that said this, but like because they already had like a 4K of both the Toby movies and Andrew movies. On
they've been out for a while now.
Yeah, they've been out for a while, but those were the 2K restorations, right? Not 4K. Right?
No, they're all 4K.
Okay.
When they redid Spider-Man 3 with the producer's cut is when they released them all in 4K.
Oh, the editor's cut,
which would have been what was the same time Homecoming came out, I think. So they're not that old releases.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's basically new packaging. Who knows? Like I said, I haven't heard anything other than like the release date. That's it. And I know they just announced the Amazing Spider-Man ones are coming in a special 4K, and you can get all 3 of the new Tom Holland ones in a 4K set too.
Yeah,
so
it's funny. I rewatched the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Yeah, they're not great. I like
the first one, but
the first one's okay. The first one's okay. The second
it's all right. Sucks. Yes.
The second one's not good at all.
Yeah, speaking of Sony, they just let it slip today that Panic Room is coming out on 4K.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Right.
Hopefully they'll get a lot of the DVD
that
special
was a Fincher
features.
One, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the only movie his. It's never even been on Blu-ray.
Oh, it hasn't?
Really?
Oh,
wow. No, not that I'm aware of. Yeah, there's a really extensive 3-disc DVD set for that movie that was like a film school in a box, and I hope they port a lot of those features over.
I remember the DVD back in the day. Maybe you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I was never a huge fan of that film. It was okay, but
yeah.
Well, like I said, the special edition DVD set is fantastic, and I like I said, I hope they port over a bunch of those features. And then Bill Lustig kind of unceremoniously announced that the next Blue Underground 4K title is going to be God Told Me To.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that one.
Which is Larry Cohen film.
Okay, well I know who he is, but I don't know if I know. I'd have to see the trailer. Speaking of Blue Underground, did you get Toolbox Murders?
I don't have it yet.
Okay, well we're going to talk about that one here. I have an issue with one bit.
Do you want to go off
speaking of issues?
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
No, this is kind of a mixed bag here because I'm going to do that up front because I didn't watch the full DVD and the new special features, so I probably shouldn't even mention this before watching the special features. But many of you are probably familiar with the Shout Select series, right? And a lot of times they're basically the same exact print and special features we got previously. Now, no, this does have a couple new features on it, and I didn't see what they are yet, but it's the same exact transfer as before, and it really needed a new one. The only thing that's different is it might have been given a little bit more of a bit rate to breathe, and it doesn't have like the compression or whatever that this one had. Otherwise, they're the same print. And that's the thing that most of these Shout Selects have been. And not only that, they've been very light on the special features. And for me, like my understanding what Shout Select was supposed to be when they first launched this line was it was kind of supposed to be like their answer to the Criterion Collection. and it has failed on that level quite a bit. Like, very rarely do we get a new scan of anything, and 9 times out of 10 they just slap whatever features were on the previous release and put it out there.
Yeah, you would think they would put a little more effort into them.
Yeah, and at this point, I hate to say it, but Kino has really kind of taken their place in my heart. Like, in the last year, Kino has really stepped it up with their.
Kino's been pretty damn good for the last couple of years.
They've let a lot of good titles here lately that
I put it to you this way. I remember when my buddy told me about the short list of movies that they had coming, and most of them were Disney catalog titles from their Touchstone and Hollywood division, and they were not the good shit. Like, we're talking, I mean, the personal favorites like Baby, the Legend of the Lost Legend or whatever, and Spaced Invaders and stuff like that. But otherwise, that's what it was like this low level,
cold as ice,
any money at the box office. Yeah. And then in the last year and a half, 2 or whatever, like Mike was saying, they've really been able to get their hands on some great releases. And not only that, they've kind of stepped in and stole how many from Criterion now and Shout.
At least they grabbed a lot of MGM discs. Yeah, they grabbed a lot of MGM stuff. A lot of it.
Yeah, didn't they just do? Was it them that did Overboard, or was it who was that?
No, that was
Severin.
Severin. Yeah, Severin. Yeah, we remember that.
Kino stole Body Snatchers from Scream Factory. And they went and stole 2 or 3 Criterion titles.
Oh, and they're doing that. Oh, what's it with Willem Dafoe and the guy from CSI? I can't think of it. It's such a good movie. Oh, what is that? To Live and Die in L.A. They're doing To Live and Die in L.A. in 4K. So yeah, that's one that they got. Yeah. So and that's
they got a lot of the Vincent Price stuff from that Shout Factory used to have too.
Yeah.
Well, outside of their Friday the 13th release, and their honestly, they really fucked up their Halloween release, so I can't even give them credit for that. And it was really overpriced in the end for what you got. So yeah, Shout has really kind of fallen. Like, look out, Mill Creek.
I mean, with their Street Fighter 2 Blu-ray. I mean, come on,
they're coming at you.
No, it wasn't David Caruso. It's William.
The guy from the original. Yeah,
the guy from the original CSI.
Mindhunter as well.
Manhunter. I was in Mindhunter. Yeah, William Peterson. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
But yeah. So I guess that will be.
We spent much more time talking about upcoming stuff other than The Godfather, which was the obvious release. But my only disappointment with that was we're not getting the Godfather saga on it.
I know you're not. You said that they're not giving the original third one or something.
Yeah, we're getting the. This will be the first time that I know of we have ever gotten the theatrical cut of Godfather 3 on home video. Period. I think the only way you've been able to see it before that was on HBO or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's always been the director's cut.
It always has, yeah. Special home video edition or whatever it always said on the cover. So yeah, so you get that version plus the 9090 the home video version and the Coda version. But we're not getting the Godfather saga, which is strange because when they released the Blu-rays a while back, which are from the same masters as these, HBO had that up in HD. They had the Godfather saga on, and I watched it on there on demand. And I'm like, awesome. That means we'll finally probably get it on Blu-ray. But that's the only thing missing from this set that I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Everything but that. That's crazy.
And you can't even do a branching version because of the way it's cut, right? Because that's how they're doing, I think, the 2 versions of Godfather 3 from what I heard, which is fine, whatever. But I'm still also kind of not sure about this whole having each movie on 1 disc. I really feel like they should have been given 2 discs to breathe on.
You would think.
I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
I don't know. They're pretty dark movies, so I don't know.
Well, just considering that the Lord of the Rings got 2 each.
Well, the Lord of the Rings are
a little bit longer, but
really colorful action films. I mean, the Godfather films are they're dark, and then they're not action films. There's not a lot of motion that would require a higher bit rate. So you might be able to, might be fine putting them on one disc.
I just hope they got the same treatment that The Outsiders did, because I don't know if you've seen that disc yet, but that has got to be one of the best 4K releases I've ever seen.
Yeah, I haven't picked up The Outsiders yet.
Yeah, because he reconstructed that from head to toe. So even the opticals and stuff, there's no degradation. He started from scratch, basically, and reconstructed both versions. So it's gorgeous. So I hope he did that with these.
That'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
Sounds like it was pretty extensive restoration work on these. So
yeah. Well, that's basically like, because you know how when they do even just like a crossfade in a movie, like when we see it in 4K, that's why we'll notice like a quick degradation in the quality, because those crossfades, we could be seeing a third or fourth generation away from the negative, and then we're cutting right back to the negative. Well, so to avoid that, Coppola redid all the transitions and all the credits and everything. So there was no degradation whatsoever on any of it. So from beginning to end, it's all 4K negative.
That's pretty cool. Hopefully he puts that kind of love and care into the Godfather stuff.
I don't know if that's the thing, is he does keep everything, but I don't know how that stuff was kept back then, to where how much control he had over keeping it. I don't know. That all depends.
Yeah.
See, by the time he got to Outsiders, he had complete control over all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We'll have to wait and see how it turns out.
Yeah, we'll have to get a good report on that. And
because George Lucas edited that famous montage with the papers. I don't know if he has all that stuff. If he has the negatives and he can re-edit it all together the way it was, then yeah. But
that'd be sweet.
That's extensive work, like Mike was saying.
Yeah, that's a lot of work into it. But I did hear that, I know we talked about The Abyss, but I did hear that it's coming to 4K sometime in August. And
Which would be nice.
Titanic will be coming to 4K sometime this year.
Speaking of Bill Hunt, he thinks both of those are going to get pushed off to next year.
Both of the Abyss and the Titanic?
Yeah, he thinks they'll get released with Avatar. I disagree. I think they'll get released right before Avatar to cash in on Avatar. And Titanic has no attachment to. Well, wait, I think Fox co-owns that, don't they, Mike?
Yeah, it's a Fox Paramount.
It is, but Paramount owns the distribution, but that doesn't
Paramount
mean that
has
Fox
home
doesn't
video
have
rights
on certain things. Maybe
they may.
But see, that's one of the few that I think that they don't technically have to get Cameron to sign off on. But I think he did a 4K master for that when he did the 3D version a few years back. So they probably just have that 4K sitting around, and they're just
let's hope they don't screw it up like they did Terminator 2.
That's what I'm afraid of. Well, that's the thing, is I don't think that's one he has to sign off on either. So because he gave up a shit ton of his rights to get it finished.
Well, since we went through all that,
yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. So, do you want to count the Liar Liar as one of your picks, or
no? That was just something I wanted to bring up just to keep in mind, because Liar Liar is kind of a bad example because it does have 2 new featurettes on it, but I have not seen the extent of how good they are.
Right.
But most of these so far, unless Mike disagrees with me, have been very lackluster releases. And to put like a thing like Shout Select and try and make them look all fancy like that, 9 times out of 10 they've been just re-releases of old stuff we've already gotten.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that I pick them up.
Interesting.
It's pretty rare that I pick up a lot of non-genre stuff anyway, but
yeah. Well, the only reason I got like the Nutty, like I already had the Nutty Professor, like they did actually add some special features, I think, to that, but I'm not 100% sure, because otherwise it's just a re-release of the movies. They already were out on Blu-ray, so I was like, okay, like I grabbed it, but it was pricey. And that's the thing, is they jack up the price on this. Even though City Slickers was from a new 4K scan, I compared it next to the old MGM DVD or Blu-ray, and it didn't really look that much better, right? So I don't know. And that's what I'm sure we're going to get a 4K one from someplace here soon.
Yeah,
probably Kino.
Probably Kino.
Probably. All right. Well, let's get into the picks, and there's everybody out there listening in the chat. I hope that was helpful to you guys. So let's we'll start with Runner, Mike, Tom, me. That's how we'll go tonight. So Runner, let's see what you got.
All right. This I did a little shopping yesterday, and this is a movie I feel
For
like
ladies' garments.
scene from Elf.
He's like, I couldn't even get through my first sentence.
Yeah, I had a feeling Tom was gonna say something. But I feel like this is a movie. I feel like some people are having a hard time trying to find on 4K in like Best Buys and shit. But I got pretty lucky, and that's Last Night in Soho.
That's nice.
Yep.
So
I couldn't
nice.
find it anywhere this morning.
That's what I said.
In
Yeah, I heard
town.
some people was having trouble with that.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard that too. So here's the problem. So I have a Best Buy that's it's right next door to my college, right? And I went there after class or after my classes, and then like I did a little shopping there, got some other stuff I might show off. I actually think I got another one that I have on my 4, but yeah, it's good. I think it's a really good movie. It's not.
I've heard good things about it. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard good things.
It's not like Cornetto trilogy level good, but like it's good. It's really damn good. And I saw it in the theater, and I thought it was pretty fucking good. But so I didn't see it the first Best Buy I went to. So then I went to the one closest to my house, drove all the way over there, and there were like 4 more copies there.
Well, you got lucky then, because like I have heard some people having trouble finding that.
Yeah, I know, because like I even like the first one I went to, I asked if like they had any in the back or whatever, and then they searched for them. It's like, yeah, we have none. It's like how do they only have the Blu-rays and not the 4Ks?
Yeah,
Like,
I went to 4 different stores this morning, which are pretty reliable for having 4Ks in stock, and none of them had it. They just had the Blu-ray. So I ordered it from Amazon this afternoon, so I'll have it tomorrow. Or
could it be distribution problems?
Say it isn't in stock on their website. So.
I don't even know, because
I think they just haven't been giving their stores a whole lot of stock lately. Like I went into my closest one recently, and they didn't have jack fucking shit.
This isn't a mass appeal. This isn't a mass appeal movie, so why a lot of stores aren't going to carry the 4K.
Well, not just that, like they just haven't been stocking them. Like they just haven't really been sending them shit for movies, because like their movie section is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking.
Oh, I told you what happened to my Best Buy. I literally thought they didn't sell movies anymore, and then I finally went back one day. They just had that little kiosk thing out in the middle there with the new releases on it. That's like it, and they don't got jack shit.
So, yeah, it's down to a little corner now. Like, my local one.
Like, there's plenty of Dune on 4K, which I showed off last week, and then there's plenty
of Steelbook
or
no Steelbook?
No Steelbook.
Now I heard they're supposed to be having another new Steelbook for Dune, the new Dune, coming soon.
I did hear that. I mean, it's just the poster though. Like I
got the 3D version, but if I can't get that one orange Steelbook from Best Buy, then
that 3D Blu-ray sold out.
Yeah, I got that luckily right away.
I mean I want to get it, but I don't have like a 3D like system or anything.
Evidently there's no digital 3D version either.
No.
Yeah, and it looks like
so the digital code is not 3D.
It's just for the standard HD, yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
So it looks like we're not the only ones having trouble with the Best Buys. People out here, Tim Hayes and Stephen Luther, having troubles, and HVP. So
Target's getting worse too.
Yeah, and Walmart's been bad forever. So, hey, what's up, Steven? Steven Sacido, welcome. Yes, physical media is where it's at. And Runner, I believe this was for you from Dan Blackroyd. Applause for it not being from James Gunn or Zack Snyder. Yeah, just for Last Night Soho. So, yes.
Yeah, it's Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright's good. I like it.
Yeah, he's a good director. Yes. And now I have every Edgar Wright movie on 4K, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to get the Blu-ray for this. I want every Edgar Wright movie on 4K. So I went to my Best Buy, and luckily enough, there were a few more still there.
That's awesome. So you got lucky on that. It's good pickup. Yeah. I need to get on that. Mike, let's see what you brought us since you're returning. Let's see what you brought with your return.
Okay. Well, after the first year, I decided to go ahead and try to play catch up on some stuff I've been putting off buying for a while.
I need to do that.
And speaking of Shout Factory, I don't go in for fancy packaging as long as it protects my disc. I don't care. I don't give a shit about steelbooks or anything like that. Well, as a lot of you know, Shout Factory released a lot of stuff on steelbook in their Scream Factory line. What I assumed was these were just reissues, and some of them are, but some of them they went back and did new transfers.
A few they did, yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that. So I've been going back since Christmas and going and picking up some of those steelbooks that have the newer transfers. So I've gotten Pumpkinhead, I've got Motel Hell.
Nice.
I need Motel Hell.
And then I picked up Forbidden World, Galaxy of Terror, and Piranha. These ones are all out of print, so these weren't cheap. But now Pumpkinhead is supposedly out of print now too, but I got it for under $20 on HamiltonBook.com. They're an online retailer. They're pretty much a liquidator. Their selection's not great, and it changes all the time, but you can find some pretty good deals on there. I got both Motel Hell and Pumpkinhead for less than $20. The Roger Corman movies, I have a real soft spot for, especially these two, because they're Alien ripoffs, and I love most of the Alien ripoff films. It's just one of the things I'm a sucker for. Forbidden World, this one was actually kind of interesting because the director's cut on this on the first Blu-ray release was standard definition only. For the steelbook, they went back and actually did a high definition version of the director's cut.
That's one I need to get to. That one and the other one you just had there, the Corman ones. But
Yeah,
the Corman
Galaxy
ones,
of
I'm always
Terror.
kind of like, because I got a couple that I've spent too much on, and I'm like, the problem with those is Shout owns those now or whatever, so I know they're just going to end up re-releasing them again.
Yeah, more than likely. Are they? My guess is they're not going to get 4K releases of Galaxy of Terror, though.
I mean, might, but you never know.
Stranger things have happened, yeah. But I think this one this is a new 4K scan that they did for Galaxy of Terror. I think Forbidden World is a 2K.
And I think that version of Piranha you pulled up, which I have there, is from a 4K scan.
Yeah, it's a new 4K scan too. Yeah. Humanoids from the Deep. I probably won't get that steelbook. It's a little more expensive than what I'm willing to spend, but 88 Films over in the UK it's the same transfer, and it's only like $30 to buy that one, so I'm gonna probably get that instead. And I've got a few more. I just got Rock and Roll High School in the mail today. That's a new 4K scan. Yeah. Amazon had it on sale for $17.99 the other day.
Yeah,
so
I got
that's why
that.
I picked it up.
The only two of those I don't have are the Corman ones, actually, that you showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I need to fill out my Roger Corman collection.
You would think by now they would have already re-released Death Race 2000.
I know, right? I had to spend
scan,
$50 to get it.
But
that's crazy.
And I got lucky to find it for that.
Yeah, the new Blu-ray, the Blu-ray they have out now is not bad, but you would think that if they're going back and they're doing those scans on movies they've already released, Death Race 2000,
the more popular Corman ones, yeah.
But
Mike didn't come to play. That's a lot of picks.
I think they only did. I think they've only done 4 or 5 Corman ones so far in the steelbooks.
There's one you're missing there that I have too, and that is
it's Humanoids from the Deep, Piranha, Galaxy of Terror, Forbidden Planet, and Rock and Roll High School. I think those are the only 5 they've done.
There's one more you're missing, and that is what's its face? The Star Wars ripoff.
Oh yeah,
that'll be on those. I have that one
because I got the steelbook for that one.
Yeah, I have that one too. That's the latest one, I think. Yeah, I bought that. I pre-ordered it when it came out because I knew they had done a new scan for that one.
I just couldn't remember the fucking title.
Yeah, that'll be on the stars. I love That'll Be on the Stars.
It's a good movie.
I still remember when that premiered on NBC's Sunday Night Movie of the Week.
Another remake of Seven Samurai.
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent film.
Tim Hay says, I think there's a rights issue with Death Race 2000 keeping it out of print. I notice whenever streaming, Shout isn't the one streaming.
That could be. But that's the thing is they bought all the rights.
Because they own it. So I don't know why they would have an issue.
Because it's hard to say because there's, as far as I know, they own all the rights because that was the whole thing is that Corman's kids got pissed.
Yeah, they bought the entire Corman library.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have that.
And they've already put it out once. It's just out of print right now.
Yeah, I got it. It's just
which a lot of those initial Corman titles are out of print now anyway. That's just one of them that is. So
yeah. But yes, the Slumber Party Massacre has a steelbook. And
which one?
Slumber Party Massacre has a steelbook. I have that one.
I don't know if that's a news.
Oh, Piranha 2. That Brian Barth wanted to know what do you guys think about Piranha 2 from James Cameron's favorite.
It's okay.
It's all right. Piranha one's better though.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, probably one's
Joe
way better.
Dante.
And Cameron really
did Shout even do Piranha 2? I don't think that was one of Shout's. I think that was
Shout Factory did Piranha 2.
Say the one I got, I wasn't sure if it was or not. Because I know it's an older ass release, but yeah.
Piranha 2 is not that old. It's a couple years old, but it's not that old. Yeah, Scream Factory put that out. They put that on under Scream Factory. Because I've got it sitting right over here.
I just must have got it when it first came out, so it feels like I've had it forever.
Yeah, they had to delay it for a while, but they eventually ended up putting it out.
I did get Night of the Demons, but not the Steelbook.
Yeah, me too. I got it, but not the Steelbook.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get the Steelbook for that one.
It's a good movie. That's good transfer on the Shout. They did good on that one. Steven, I am an avid collector of VHS. I'm probably the only one here that is the collector of
nerd.
Do you guys have any like Betamax, Laserdisc, or HD DVDs?
I had VHSs when I was like very little, and then we like got rid of that.
You're still very little, so
no, I'm actually an adult technically, so no, I'm not.
The ones I have are for various reasons, and they're not really very good ones. Like some of them I have still sitting here from the time we showed them, and that was
the Nightmare. I still want to get that. The Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, man.
That Nightmare on Elm Street one, which there's better versions actually if you get Laserdisc grips. And I just want the special features and the stereo track off there.
Yeah, I've got a few collectible VHSs, and I got about 30 Laserdiscs still, but I don't have any nostalgia towards old formats.
I do. And I will be releasing a VHS documentary on my channel here soon. It is in the editing process, so keep an eye out.
I practically grew up in a video store. You would think that I would, but
I fucking hate VHS now. Nothing against anything. Greg.
No, I completely understand, man. I get it.
No, I mean, if you want to have like a counter in your documentary, just like real quick to start off with, like I can give you a good rundown of why VHS sucks, and then you can jump to the best part and be like just have like a thing that comes up and says, "But we love it anyway," and then the thing starts.
Yeah, VHS sucks.
Tom ripping into it.
It looks like shit. It doesn't last. There's nothing but fucking noise.
I like the hum. It's nice.
No, I didn't mean like actual noise. I mean like picture noise.
Oh, the picture noise. Yeah. Why do they hate, Tom?
It was just a horrible format. Horrible format. I mean, you just touch it the wrong way and you ruin something, and there's no consistency. You go buy a tape from the store and it's like don't work right, and they're just like, and you bought it, you probably ruined it. And like so 9 times out of 10 you had to sit there and argue with them over it if there was a problem. And that's the thing is the tracking variations would cause such a problem with watching a movie on certain players compared to another player. And it was then, speaking of the cheap companies, you had like the Good Times and that kind of shit where they'd reproduce shit on SLP and EP. So good luck trying to make that shit look good on your TV. Because that was like a dub of a dub of a dub.
It is. It happens. Hey, some of us out there still like them.
Basically, I would sought after like original release VHS or really good remasters, or tape that motherfucker off HBO, because otherwise that's the best version you're gonna get. Like until like Laserdisc came in, and I couldn't afford Laserdisc, so
yeah. It happens though.
And now Laserdisc stands up to some of the DVDs even, so
it's true.
Not that I want to go out and start collecting Laserdisc anytime soon.
Yeah. I like it though. I like it. That's just me though. But I understand where you're coming from.
Features, like that's the thing is there's features and stuff that were on Laserdisc that didn't get carried over, but outside of that, there's no real reason to.
Yeah, a lot of commentary tracks never got ported over, and like I said, I've got about 30 Laserdiscs that I kept, but they're mostly just for collectible reasons. So,
But now that Tom ripped into,
Oh, don't worry, DVD's not going anywhere.
yeah,
anytime
DVD's
soon.
gonna be around forever. Now that Tom broke my heart and ripped into VHS, let's see what he's got for the night.
No, I don't get me wrong. I was in love with VHS for many, 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 many years. And the first one I'm going to bring up is the one that most people are going to sit here because we're going to have a Cricket Fest on because I remember from my last time I showed something from them. But yesterday, this came out from
The
Criterion in
The
4K,
Hard
which
Day's Night.
is almost identical to their other release of it, which is Blu-ray and DVD. But this one's fatter. And that's because they had to have 2 DVDs in this one.
That's
so
what she said.
Chuck this one. No, of course I'll go sell it somewhere. But no, because it's the same Blu-ray.
You mute it. You're muted.
It's from the same 4K scan. So what can I say though? I mean, the movie looks great. Sounds great. You get a decent amount of special features, of course, it's because it's Criterion. You know, I didn't make my way through all the special features at all, but no, I mean, I watched the movie and I thought it
still hold
did a
up.
pretty decent job. Oh yeah.
I've seen you posting pictures of it from.
It looks great. Some of the shots look beautiful. Yeah,
that's cool. I have to get more into Beatles stuff. I've never really been too into Beatles stuff, so I have to go through and check out some of that stuff from them. You know, it's
I
just
knew this was going to be one of those conversations where I'd be the only one sitting here going, "What are you kids?"
I'm usually the one doing that. But yeah, I agree, man. No, the Hard Day's Night is pretty good. I've seen parts of it, and like I said, I've not been a huge Beatles fan. I guess it just was a little before my time, but I would like to have that. I would like to own that. It's good to know that it's a nice 4K.
Yeah, and of course, like Steven Susudio was talking about, of course, since the 2 releases are so close together, they're exactly the same as far as the documentaries and featurettes and everything that's on the bonus features, and it's got the same exact book and everything with it. So I can sell this other version no problem.
I suppose that's probably what they're doing. They do
I'll probably
Night
give
of the Living Dead and all them. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But I like it, Tom. I like it. That's a good pick. I'll go to me. I just found this at a thrift store. Now, I was out looking for VHSs, but it came across a Blu-ray set that I really liked. And I remember Brian Barth asked us last week if we collect TV shows on Blu-ray or DVD, and I found one of my favorite TV shows, and that would be I hit the wrong damn button. Deadwood. I found the complete series of Deadwood for $12 on Blu-ray.
Nice.
And yeah, I love this show. This is a great show. The case is a little battered, but it's everything's in great condition. I
paid like $50 for the import in a piss poor shitty case, so you got a hell of a deal there.
Yeah, it just was laying there in a big old like cart just on top. So like I went through it and all the discs are fine, no scratches, no fingerprints. Like the book here, as you can see, it's all good. There's no dings, scratches, or anything. Just the outside case where they wrote on it, and that was it. But I had to get it.
Fine, man.
Yeah, it was a good one. That was. Hey, see, thrifting for VHSs can lead to some surprise Blu-rays. And I have all these on DVD, all 3 seasons on DVD, and I've been meaning to pick up the Blu-ray for a while, and just boom, there it was. So if you've not seen Deadwood, check out Deadwood. It's a great show.
Switching.
Cocksucker.
I never did watch the movie. I need to go back and watch the movie.
Oh, the movie was good, but it was such a disappointment. You're like, this needs to be 3 hours longer.
It did need to be a little bit long because I felt like I liked it. I really enjoyed it. But then when it got to the end, I was like, that's it. That's how they're going to get him.
To get you're like, no.
It just needed to be like just a smidge bit longer there.
Like I was like a nice 3-hour movie would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Just to let us just kind of relish being back in this world. It would have been great. I mean, otherwise the movie's good. It's just not nearly as good as the series was.
And
it feels very rushed in moments, and you got a lot of the so and so making their appearance kind of scenes. It feels
Yeah.
very like reunion movie ish instead of
It
actually
is.
trying to tie up all the things like it should. I mean, it ties up most of the.
It does a decent job, and I mean, they do get rid of like one character that kind of surprises you, but it works for the story. So I liked it. It
It
wasn't
does
too bad,
bring
but
the story pretty much full circle, though. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Timothy Oliphant as Seth Bullock and Ian Shane as Swearingen. I mean, you can't go wrong. Swearingen, that guy. It's just such a good. It's just such. It was such a good show, and like Powers Booth, he was missed. Powers Booth was missed in that. So
that was.
I would
the worst
love to
part.
see what they did with him.
That was the most heartbreaking bit, was that you didn't have Powers Booth, so you couldn't really finish his storyline.
Yeah, because they had a nice little rivalry between him and Swearingen and stuff, and it would have been interesting to see.
From my recollection, Calamity Jane was kind of wasted in it too.
I don't think she was in
she
it
got like
a
one
whole
of those
lot.
cameo scenes. Like that's the other thing, was like a lot of them are cameo scenes. Just kind of
Yeah, you could tell it was like, isn't what's his name? I think he can't do anything anymore. The guy that created the show, it was like his last thing ever that he was going to do.
Did he
David
die?
Milch. I heard something like it was like he was getting sick or something, and he may not be able to do something.
And now you mention, I remember something like that. But
so I think that was one of the reasons why it kind of felt rushed, was like they kind of had to get it done before he couldn't do anything anymore.
But I love that fucking show, man.
Oh, I loved it too.
I don't think there's a bad episode.
No, there isn't, and they go into some dark places too. It was really good.
Oh yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen it, but
oh man, I still remember like when what's her name was on there, Kristen Bell, and what Powers Booth and them do to that. That's crazy. This is such a good show.
I suppose Runner hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I would say Runner has never seen it.
I don't blame him though. That show is pretty ruthless for the time it came out. And how
yeah.
When did it come out actually?
Oh God, it's been out.
I think it was early 2000s, maybe.
Earlier 2000s, early like 2006 or so. I think it started.
Okay.
Maybe maybe a little sooner than that actually.
That makes sense.
2006 might have been when it ended.
Yeah, I think it was so. I'm trying to find a date here.
It ran for 3 seasons, but
and it was unceremoniously canceled.
Unceremoniously. I think they actually had quite a few episodes a season back then too, even though it was on HBO, because I think they're like what 15, 20 episodes a season. Almost.
Yeah, I think maybe it was 12. I think maybe.
Maybe I thought it was a little more. I know when they got near the end, there was less.
It could have been.
Well, that was the problem. Was the show was too fucking expensive. That was.
Yeah, it was, and it was very much like a movie each week. So, it looks like the first season is 12 episodes for the first season.
Is it?
Yeah. And
maybe it just felt like so much more because you get so much that goes on.
Yeah, they pack so much in it. 12 for the second season. Yeah, it looks like it's 12 each.
It was only 12. I was wrong.
Yeah. And it had such a great cast. I mean, like freaking Chucky's in it.
Oh God, yeah. We didn't even get to half the cast that's in that show.
Man. Oh my God, man! I could do a whole show on that show.
Yeah. Wasn't Walton Goggins on there even for a while? And
was he on there? I don't remember that. He might have been.
I know there was a few actors in 2 different roles and shit too.
Yeah, the one guy who killed what's his name? Yeah. Bill Hickok. He comes back as a different guy later on.
Yeah.
Got a $5 super chat here real quick, and then we'll get to you, Runner, for your second pick of the night. Do any of you remember Hastings, the multimedia store from a decade ago? New and used games, movie specials, orders, music equipment, vinyl, comic books. The name sounds familiar, but I don't think there's
one, but I'd heard of them.
Yeah. There's never one up here. How about you, Mike?
There was one in Richmond, Indiana, and I believe it was the only Hastings that was like west of the Mississippi. But I used to drive over there about once a month and just kind of roam around the store a little bit. It was nice. I liked going there. They sold I bought a lot of stuff online from them too. Their used DVD selection online was really good.
Nice.
But I used to like going to the actual store. It was a nice store.
That's cool. I've heard of them, like I said, but never been around here. And Preston Bruno, thank you for the $5. And for that, you get
buy that for $1.
Your move, creep.
Your move.
And yeah, so it was 2004 to 2006. Tyrell said,
Yeah, there you go. 2004 to 2006.
I was right when I
36
said it.
episodes.
2006 might have been when it ended. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, it feels like so many more though. Like
I know,
so much
'cause it's
shit
just-
happens.
The story they tell is just so great. Oh man, I'm gonna have to dig
It
through
is
the show
probably
again.
one of the best westerns ever. Period. Like,
I agree. If you like Tombstone and stuff, you would like Deadwood Runner.
supposedly it's the most accurate
right.
westerns. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good show.
People
Check it
used
out.
to give them shit about how much swearing, and they're like, actually, it was kind of worse than that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they do a lot of cussing, and I would say, you know what? That back then, I bet it was a lot worse. Yes. But what do you got, Runner? Let's get your second pick of the
I
night.
never heard cocksucker said so eloquently, though.
I know they say it's so nice.
All right, this is another one I got from Best Buy yesterday. It's Steelbook. I watched this movie for the first time yesterday, and it's pretty bad, but I enjoyed it at the same time.
My favorite type of movies.
Yeah, I think this is up your alley, FanZcene. The Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter.
Oh, that's
I still haven't
love that
checked to
movie.
see the scan if that was any better.
How clear does it play, Runner?
It looked pretty decent. It looked
It
bad.
didn't say it had a new scan, so
I don't know. I mean, don't you have this one, Tom?
yeah, I've got that one and the original. I'm sure Mike does too, if not.
And
No, I don't own that disc.
Okay.
it comes with a bison dollar too.
Yeah, it's got some cool shit in there, and they added some new special features to it. They carried over the stuff that was there, but I never did get to compare it because even though I was giving Shout a hard time, I really shouldn't because Kino
cool.
and Mill Creek have done basically the same thing.
100 bison dollar.
I was forced to watch that in the theater. I'm not going to subject myself
The
to it
difference,
again
though,
willingly.
Mill Creek and Kino don't charge the same kind of price that Shout does. That was kind of more my bitch.
Yeah.
And gripe.
Yeah.
We need to get like Mill Creek
Shout
on
gets
here.
that premium.
But that's it. I
They're
mean,
basically charging you $20 for a disc you can get at the $6.99 bin at Walmart. Is my point.
but I mean,
What I was
come
gonna say,
on.
but yeah.
You got to admit, Raul Julia as Bison. The day
He was
Bison
great.
graced your village was the most
Jean-Claude Van
important
Damme
day
is
in
an
your
American.
life.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess
But like Bison,
that is
he
really
says,
nice art. Yes.
Oh
It
yeah,
is
I mean
good.
it's a picture frame in the movie.
it's awesome though. But it's
Yeah,
like he says,
it's fucking fantastic.
it's like I said, he says when he tells her like the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life, but to me it was a Tuesday. So I love that.
I mean, when it comes to like steelbook art, this might be one of my favorites.
It's really
Like-
nice.
Like
I've been meaning to get.
it looks really damn good. Like I think Best Buy had a Mortal Kombat, like the original one, like for steelbook, but it looks kind of lame. It's just the logo in one half, and then it's the Annihilation logo in the back, or some shit. I don't know.
So you liked the movie, but you thought it was bad. But that's the best kind.
No, it's a bad movie, but I enjoy the shit out of it.
Don't you like Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile? And
He was fucking great.
I love when they do the poses at the end of the movie.
Ming Na Wen is hot as shit.
She looks exactly the same.
Is there an
I think
audio
she
commentary on that
does.
disc?
Is there commentary on it?
I think there is. I haven't looked at the bonus.
The
stuff.
original Universal disc actually had quite a few special features.
I've got
There's some new
the
stuff,
DVD, but I've got it on DVD and I've got it on digital. But yeah, it's been so long
I'm
since I
pretty
did that.
sure that the stuff that was on the DVD was all carried over to the Blu-ray.
Several years ago, I read an article where they interviewed the director of that. And I forget what publication did the interview, but man, it was a damn good about just the problems he had making that movie. It was actually more fascinating than the movie itself.
I was gonna say, like, just watching this movie, I'm like, I bet this movie was a bitch to me.
And a lot of the problems stem from Capcom.
Okay.
There was a lot of they were like under contractual obligations to include a lot of stuff in the movie that just didn't work, but they still had to put them in there. They had besides Van Damme, like no one on that film knew how to do fight scenes. It was just a nightmare to make, I guess.
Dang.
Like I kind of wish
I think
like
Raul Julia wasn't doing the best
And-
either.
No, he was in really poor health, and Van Damme was pretty much whacked out the entire time.
no, Raul Julia looked like he didn't have like
Well, he was
2 weeks
dying.
worth of sleep.
Well,
He
yeah,
was
because he
dying.
died like before the movie
Yeah,
went
not
in
long ago.
theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
terminally
shit.
ill when he was terminally ill when he made the film. But apparently Van Damme would go out and party every night while they were filming in Southeast Asia. Just
I'm not surprised. I've heard many a story about Van Damme.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember where that article was published, but it was really interesting.
That's pretty cool though. But yes, it is it's a definition of a good bad movie.
Yes, it is.
I like it though. I do. I like
and,
this
and
film,
I'm and to be fair, I've never been a big Street Fighter guy, so I'm like kind of like watching it in like a normie perspective. I guess the only thing I've always been a Mortal Kombat guy just because it's like blood and guts and shit, and like that was always.
Well, Van Damme was the
go-to.
original influence for Johnny Cage. So
Yeah, I know. It's crazy because like it's like Johnny Cage is nothing like Van Damme, but
He kind of is if you know any
Yeah.
real stories
if
about it.
you look
I
up the
don't
story and
know.
history of Jean-Claude Van Damme, and you'll understand where it
I-
comes from.
I mean I could sort of see like the movie star aspect, but I don't know.
Oh
I mean-
no, he's a complete like fucking narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's one of those type of guys who would insist on showing you he can do that split thing in person. And he'd
Yeah.
almost kick you in the face just to fucking show you. And
Well,
yeah.
yeah. If you've ever seen No Retreat, No Surrender, apparently the director had a hell of a time controlling him because he would actually hit the people in the fight scenes. They kept telling him to stop hitting the people, and
He
he
got
would keep
fired
hitting
from
them.
Predator for fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
he's fired from Predator.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the only Van Damme movie I've seen, so I gotta watch
Well,
it.
I've
get-
heard some pretty wild stories I'm not even going to get into because, like, yeah, Cameron Pasha told a couple already.
Yeah, I know
Really?
I heard the one story that the wrestler Kevin Nash told. He was like, they did a MTV Spring Break, and they had Van Damme down there, and they said the MTV guy asked him who would like have his next co-star be his next love interest, and he's like, my wife. And then they said like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall saw him later that night in a car with another woman just going at it with her. So it's like, yeah, he's got some stories.
Well, I've heard he swings both ways. so
Yeah,
on
I've heard
top of it
that
all.
too. I've heard that too. So, but yeah,
And all his 80s and 90s movies were fueled on so much fucking cocaine, man.
I know, but they're so damn good too.
No, I mean he was so coked up, man.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's a good crazy movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Seagal's supposedly a dickhead too.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard, man. That's what
Just
they
to
said.
prove he's a badass or whatever.
Yeah, and he only knows like 3 moves, really.
Yeah, pick up the sandwich, put it in his mouth, chew and swallow. That's it.
That's crazy. But that's a good one, Runner. I've been meaning to get that too. I haven't had a lot of chance to get a lot of new stuff lately, but I'm on my way. But Mike, what do you got for us? What's your next pick?
Okay, well, since you brought up a TV series, I'm going to move up one that I was going to do
He's
later.
gonna send me that Godzilla poster one of these days. Give it to
Nope.
me in your will, at
He
least.
said nope.
Nah. That one was hard to find.
I said your will.
You might have to fight my son for it.
Well, chances are I'll
Um,
die before you anyway. So.
So we've been talking about Kino and just brought up Deadwood, a TV series. I got this for Christmas.
Oh, sweet. Is
Which
that the
is the-
original other?
That's the original Outer Limits on Blu-ray from Kino that just came out last year.
I've been
Nice.
hovering around those.
These are great discs. This is great. There's tons of special features. The show looks fantastic. It is one of my favorite television shows of all time. The only reason I didn't pick it up when it first came out is because I went ahead and put it on my Christmas list. And
Nice.
luckily somebody did go ahead and get these for me. I always go back and forth on which I like better, either The Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone. I love both shows, but Outer Limits is a like top 5 TV show for me.
Let me guess, they're in standard Blu-ray cases too, because Kino is awesome.
No, they're Digipack.
Kino.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, but I hate that. Come on, they're better than that.
How much of it have you watched? Had it all play good?
Oh yeah, I've watched about a dozen episodes. It looks fantastic, and there's tons of special features in this set.
I'll probably pick it up the next time they have a sale.
Yeah, I definitely do. It's great.
I know I've been wanting to get Kolchak and
Kolchak's
Night
are great.
Gallery.
Yeah, Kolchak's. I haven't gotten Night Gallery yet. That's on my to get list.
Night Gallery is one I want to get.
I'll probably wait until they release season 2 and just buy season 1 and 2 at the same time.
Yeah, they usually do a set.
That's cool.
Because
I like the Outer Limits. Whoa. Yeah, okay.
What was that?
That was my steelbooks falling off the desk.
Oh, man.
Bro.
I mean, I know you don't care about packaging, but I hope they're not in it.
I was gonna say, if those things like get a scratch or like a bump,
I'm
or
like
anything,
Mike. I don't really
I
care
don't
so much
give a
about them,
shit.
but like if I get short on cash, don't think I won't fucking sell a few of those bastards real quick.
Makes
Yeah, I
sense.
Yeah, as long as the discs are protected.
My buddy Valiant earlier, he said he was lucky enough to find a Scream steelbook.
Oh yeah, I've
Those have been hard to come by. Yeah.
That lucky motherfucker. Like,
I still haven't seen the new one.
I haven't either.
I
wanted to, and I've heard some bad things.
Me
I've heard
too.
some-
Like I'm
I've
not
heard
in
some
a
bad things
rush.
too.
I'll get to it. It's one of those I'll be like, yeah, I'll get to it.
I wish I was more familiar. It's been so many years since I've seen the Outer Limits. Yeah, like I'd
Yeah,
probably
me
end up
too.
mixing half of them with Twilight Zone episodes.
They still got the
And
one.
the thing is,
Go ahead.
what's that?
I was just thinking about the one with Leonard Nimoy, the one he did.
Oh, iRobot.
Yeah. That's one I remember the most.
Yeah, my favorite episode is the Zonties. I can't remember the name of the episode. Man, it creeped me out when I was a little kid. And the creatures in the episode are just ridiculous when you see them. They're like little spider creatures, and it just ridiculous when you see them. But man, they freaked me out when I was a kid. And I also really love the remake series too that was on Showtime and the Sci-Fi Channel.
I've only ever seen a little bit of those.
Yeah, I wish they'd put those out in wide release.
Yeah.
In the United States, they only ever put out the first season, and it didn't sell well enough, so MGM didn't bother putting the rest of it out. The whole series was available in Canada. It was a Canadian production, so you could get it in Canada, but to import them, they were really expensive. So,
Yeah, I'm hoping eventually. I think Universal owns the rights. I hope they get to like they just did Hulk, and they've done a few of these other ones. Hopefully, they'll do Amazing Stories. I got the DVD and the import of season 2, but
yeah, I got the season.
Yeah.
I got the season 1 DVD. Yeah,
they
I
really
wish they
need
would
a
do
Blu-ray
Amazing
release.
Stories. Yeah. I really would like to have that on a nice Blu-ray set. Amazing Stories, like the Mummy episode, the Christmas episode,
A family dog, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But the dog was here.
That's a good one.
Weren't you?
I miss that
We
show.
don't ask much of you, do we? No.
I like those shows. Like I like the Outer Limits and Twilight Zones and Night Gallery and stuff. So I like those shows were good. It was nice to have like a different like sci-fi horror scary show each week.
Got the whole stereo system, Dad.
What do you got? But that's a good Christmas gift right there, Mike. What you got for us, Tom?
Well, let's see here. Let me start with God, because I have so many here. Shit, I wonder if God damn it. Because wait, I had 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, I actually had 5 titles plus that one, so I might have to push one aside here. Yeah, I'm gonna put one aside for now. Okay, unless we had time later. This is one I got a while ago, and I wanted to do it this week because
you got the trilogy.
Yeah, well, they're just finally releasing the third film by itself. Because before that's the only way you could get this movie, or the third film anyway. But yeah, these are just the first two movies are re-releases of the same Blu-rays they've been releasing for the last 10 years. They are not the best prints. They do not look the greatest. Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles looks fucking horrid.
And you think that would look the best since it was newer?
No, it's clearly the whatever scan they had from the DVD. Probably it was probably 1080i or something like that. It looks like dog shit. The third movie didn't age nearly as well as I remember, because I actually remember liking it, and then watching it now, it's like this feels like a TV pilot.
It does. You know, you said it really does. It feels like
they were setting up this thing like Crocodile Dundee was going to be a PI in Los Angeles or something.
Yeah.
No, but the first two movies, of course, are still classics. Not shit for special features, really. Just a making of featurette for 2 and 3.
They need to do some good special features for those too.
The first two movies definitely need a 4K upgrade. I can't believe Paramount has it, because the first two movies were huge hits for them.
They were so good too.
Yeah, I mean, they're classic films. Like I said, the third film didn't nearly age as well as I remember it. But, yeah, there's just certain things too that just don't click with it. And the other thing with it is it feels like a lot of skits, right? Like,
yeah, it does. Like with the teacher and everything.
Skits. And I mean, there's a story there, but it's very buried, and that's why I said it feels like a TV pilot.
Maybe that's what he wanted to do, and he just turned it into a movie.
But yeah, no, they're fun.
Yeah, they're fun movies. I like them, especially the first two. I really enjoy the first two. So I would like to get them on some special editions. But yeah, I suppose Runner, you've never seen them either.
It's on my list.
Probably didn't like them.
Preston Bruno says 3 something on the wing, something on the wing,
something on the wing,
something on the
wing.
That's
I wouldn't say Paul Hogan was a one-hit wonder.
I liked his what's that movie where he
was a huge star in Australia before he even came to the United States.
Yeah, I liked his movie where he's an angel. I can never remember the name of it.
It didn't do the best at the box office, but I mean, he did a lot of Miller Lite commercials here. Yeah. Didn't he have a TV show for a while or something like that too? Or something? I think he did in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah. He had the Paul Hogan show in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, he was huge over there, like you're saying. So
yeah, I like his Western he did for HBO with Cuba Gooding Jr. Yeah,
Lightning
that was a good one. Yeah, Lightning Jack. That was a good one. Yeah, Almost an Angel is fun. Elias Kotis is great in it. Yeah, I always liked that one. That was like my 2 go-to Paul Hogan movies. I
now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, the Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah,
that's actually based on a Paul Hogan movie called Strange Bedfellows, which is 10 times fucking better.
I bet it is, because that movie sucks.
The only thing they basically stole is the idea that they're firefighters and that they get married for insurance reasons. That's the only thing that's pretty much the same. Otherwise, it's like 2 totally different tonal.
I forgot he was in Flipper with Elijah Woods. Yeah.
Anybody else ever seen that one, Strange Bedfellows?
I've never seen that one.
I got a really crappy DVD release of that. That's like the last time I remember a decent. Like, it has never been released otherwise that I know of. But
that's cool. I didn't know that movie. I mean, that movie, the Adam Sandler one, sucked, but I didn't know it was based on that.
I'm not sure if it even gets credit for it. Like, it's either a straight ripoff or it is an American remake. I can't remember which.
Yeah. Anybody seen Paul Hogan's new movie that he just did, where he goes, "I am crocodile"? What's it?
I haven't watched it yet.
Something about him not being Crocodile Dundee or something. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like an autobiography.
Something Mr. Dundee, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Dundee, yeah. I've been wanting to say that. It looked good. So
Chevy Chase is in it, I saw.
And then what's it? Go ahead.
What was that?
What were you gonna say?
No, I was just say Dan Blackroyd brought up Strange Bedfellows. I don't know if he did just because I brought it up or if he was bringing it up.
Yeah. He brought up that and Flipper and Lightning Jack. I like Lightning Jack. It's a good one.
I don't know.
This is one I would like. Any word on a Johnny Dangerously coming to Blu-ray 4K? I would absolutely love Johnny Dangerously on a Blu-ray or 4K.
Who owns that? Warner?
No, it's gonna be Disney. That was a 20th Century Fox.
Was it Fox? Oh yeah,
that's a Fox.
Well, then we're not getting that anytime soon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That would have been a great one for Scream or Shout, but like, not now. They're not going to get their hands on it.
Well, that sucks.
Needed the original song reinstated too. I'm sick and tired of it always having that stupid crap on it.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
The Weird Al song.
Yeah. That's a good one, though. That Weird Al song. What do you think about Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al?
I got two minds on it because there's not very many other actors I can think of who could pull it off, and not like he could, but I can also see Weird Al being like, I have a feeling that this movie is going to be a lot like Man on the Moon, where Weird Al is going to pop in and out of the movie. And I have a feeling he'll be like, here I am at age 18 or whatever. And it's like, wait a minute, that's too ugly. It's like, and it looks just like him or whatever. And it'll be like, let's recast this. And then it'll be like, too sexy. It'll be like Brad Pitt or something like that. Then it gets to like Daniel Radcliffe and it'll be like, oh, Harry Potter, I can work with that.
That would be funny.
I picture something like that. So I have a feeling there's going to be this whole like thing about Daniel, because Daniel Radcliffe looks nothing like Weird Al. Like,
no, he doesn't.
Not even in any way, shape, or form. So I'm just like, we'll see what he does.
Yeah. I know Weird Al said he thinks this will be the role that Daniel Radcliffe will be remembered mostly for. So,
of course, he was kidding with that, but
yes, he was kidding with that. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I'll stick with you, Tom. There, I got a little thing here that needs an upgrade. Clue Blu-ray. This just has the 3 different endings. That's the only special features it has, which was always on the VHS anyways. So.
And I think Paramount's re-released that 12 times, so I'm not surprised they haven't done a 4K scan of it yet.
I would love to have one because this is such a great movie, and I think this is one of the later re-releases of it than the other one.
The only difference I think is the cover, right, Mike?
Yeah, just the cover.
Releasing the same disc over and over.
Because this is like the newer cover artwork, whereas the other one was like the original artwork. So.
That's when I always wish there was at least an audio commentary for it.
Yeah, I would like to know a little about the movie.
I gotta imagine. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, well, you had Jonathan Lynn directed it, and Landis was behind it too. So
yeah,
it'd be kind of interesting.
It's a popular one that I cannot believe that it's not. I gotta imagine it's on that list of the more prestigious movies Paramount's been giving 4K scans to, and even if they don't release a 4K version of it on disc, they'll do a new disc like they did with a bunch of the Eddie Murphy movies and Ordinary
like
People's coming out
thing.
Gosh, there was a bunch of them in the last couple of years they've done. What's the other ones I'm thinking of though? Nashville. What else? Help me out here, folks.
From the Paramount logo.
Where you can open up the front and their new 4K.
Yeah, they did Golden Child. They did Breakdown.
Breakdown. That was another one.
48 hours, another 48 hours.
Harold and Maude.
Yeah, Harold and Maude was another one I was trying to think of. Didn't they do Pretty in Pink again, or is that one that's coming?
I think Pretty in Pink is one of them.
I couldn't tell you.
I think it is because I think I have that in 4K. Because those are ones they'd released them all digitally not all of them. Some of them in digital in 4K. They didn't release them on disc in 4K. Because I got Golden Child in 4K, Breakdowns in 4K.
I wish they'd released Harold and Maude on 4K, but unfortunately it's just digital in 4K. So
Nashville's digital 4K, yeah. So I can't like, and even the Popeye release, which is weird because that one looks like it might have come from a 4K master, but the digital version is still only like some of them are still just stick with that HD master on the digital side, which bums me out because I've been waiting for 48 hours and another 48 hours to be 4K. Like I'm getting pissy.
I know. I wish they would not. I mean, like they'll give you the 4K digital, but we're only going to give you the
Well, I don't
Blu-ray.
care if it's at least that because the Golden Child looked better on the 4K digital than it did on the Blu-ray, at least a little bit. So I'm like, just give me the 4K. Like, come on, please. Like,
I would love a 4K Blu-ray, a 4K of The Clue with like Mike said, commentary and everything with special features.
Well, I
for
think
Pete's sakes.
I think they will, especially considering if Addams Family does well.
Yeah. What's up, Rookie Critic? Hey,
they got
hey.
Tommy Boy on the list.
What's up, Jack?
Oh yes, Tommy Boy's coming to 4K.
I bet you if some of those comedies sell well, I can imagine Clue will be. Because Clue's a big seller for them. So, like I said, they've already re-released it 3-4 times with just different covers. So.
And let me guess, Runner, you've never seen Clue?
No.
Yeah, it was more or less a flop when it originally came out, but it's been a big catalog seller over the years.
Yeah, the video really pushed it.
Yeah, it was like one of the first affordable VHSs, so everybody got one.
Popeye and a couple other movies at that time. Yep.
Yeah. But you guys check it out, Runner. It's really good. If you like Tim Curry, it's great. It's funny. It's got a great cast. Christopher Lloyd.
Oh God, it's a star-studded cast.
I know. Eileen Brennan, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, Leslie Ann Warren.
And
so
the gimmick
great.
of it, Runner, is depending on which theater you were in, you got a different ending.
Yeah, they have 3 different endings.
No shit. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, that was the last time anybody was allowed to do that. The MPAA was like, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, no go.
It sucks.
Because I was just thinking about that. I'm like, is that legal? Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
It just skirted it.
See, they changed the rules. Like, yes, it's like it would fall into like the category of an alternate cut. But see, now I think you might correct me if I'm wrong, because you would know this probably better than I do, even that now you're not allowed to do 2 different versions at the same time in theaters.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clue was the movie that kind of forced that.
And then like later on, it became more of a big deal with like, because they tried to release an R-rated version of like Showgirls and an NC-17 version, for instance, and things like that. That didn't work out too well either. So
yeah. Why would you want to see an R-rated version of Showgirls anyway?
Well, I think it was more that they were worried about the confusion and then kids sneaking into the NC-17 version and shit.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to see Jesse from Saved by the Bell naked. That's all I wanted to see. I don't care if the movie sucked.
I think Final Destination had toyed around with it, Dan Blackroyd, but they probably ran into the problem that Mike's talking about. That you cannot have alternate cuts in theaters at the same time.
Yeah. And look at my man, like I was going to point out here. Look at my man Rookie here. He saw No Country for Old Men, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Team America for the first time.
Team America's fucking fantastic.
Now I can't remember now when they did Saturday Night Fever and MASH. Were those released at the same time, or were those re-releases?
No, they were re-releases.
That's what I thought. Okay.
For those that don't know, that Saturday Night Fever was originally rated R. They released a PG version later.
Same thing with MASH. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think the PG version of Saturday Night Fever came out right before Staying Alive. Actually,
that makes
sense. No. Well, no, I think it came out.
Probably, I would say closer too, because it was such a big, huge hit that they.
Yeah, I think it was shortly after the theatrical run of Saturday Night Fever. Now that I think about it, it was shortly after the initial.
Because MASH was a little bit different. MASH, I think, was years later, right? Because that was because of
MASH. MASH was years later because of the TV show, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. MASH was actually the first major film to have the word "fuck" in it.
Yes, and who would have thought? And who would have thought like Clue would have?
Clear, it's actually fucking, but yeah, I'm gonna take your fucking head off. But yeah,
that's funny though. But like, who would have thought Clue would have been responsible for not having multiple copies in the theater at the same time?
No, but it truly does deserve a special edition. Y'all are right about
it.
Does,
it does.
It's and I can't believe Paramount hasn't given it much more love. They really don't have to. That's probably why. But I gotta imagine it's on their list to get revisited soon.
Yeah,
they've been stepping it up quite a bit. I can't knock them for that. Paramount's been stepping it up a little bit on there.
Yeah, they have. With their little boutique label they tried to create there. They've been giving us some good ones.
Well, not just
wonder if
that. We're
it's-
getting the fucking Godfather for fuck's sake.
Exactly. You're getting like all three of them on 4K and a big
And-
nice set.
And I mean, I didn't care for the packaging on the Indiana Jones set, but we got that. We got the Star Trek films and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
and again, I'm sure the Indiana Jones ones would have eventually gotten the same thing with Star Trek, but I mean, they're doing it, which is a nice thing. And Scream, they bought Miramax and Dimension Films, so like we're gonna probably get a lot of, we hear like a lot of Tarantino's movies are upcoming, and a lot of those would be ones they'd be releasing. Same thing with Dusk Till Dawn and stuff
Love
like
to get
that.
a Reservoir Dogs. It's a nice addition for a change.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they own the distribution on Reservoir Dogs, even though Miramax produced that. I think Live Entertainment owned the rights, which then got sold to Artisan, which then got sold.
That's crazy.
And I think it's under
Just
Lionsgate, if I'm not mistaken.
Quentin Tarantino just step in and get that fixed.
You'd think he would have just bought the rights to it by now, yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think is better, MASH or the TV show MASH?
They're two such different tones.
Yeah, the TV show is actually my favorite television show of all time.
But I love the movie. I fucking adore that movie.
Yeah.
Has that ever been released on a
and
special
I love
edition?
the TV show.
Yeah, they got a
movie.
Oh, yeah.
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 I don't know if we'll ever get a
surprised.
4K of that, though, because the original elements of that are so damaged from what I remember from what they talk about in the commentary of the DVD and Blu-ray. Because they actually had to use the sound from an old laser disc for the recent release. They even talk about it in the commentary.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I said like I said, the TV show is my favorite TV show of all time. So
that's cool.
When I was growing up, it was on at least 3 times a day when I was growing up.
Well, what sucks about that is that needs a Blu-ray release. It is an HD Masters, but Fox never released it, and I doubt Disney ever will.
Yeah, Hulu did an HD remaster. It's on Hulu. And it's actually a decent. They made it widescreen, but it's actually really well done.
Probably because it was 35 and they just opened up the mat.
Yeah, because I was afraid they were just going to crop, but they did and they didn't. Like, there's more information.
They did a 35 open mat, is what they did. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little less information at the top, but there's more information on the sides. And some episodes where they have, like, there's the episode with the clock in the corner. They actually went back and redid that optical effect. So it's really well done. Nice. But I wish they would release that on Blu-ray.
I'm sure Fox was prepping it, but they just didn't get to it before Disney bought them. Probably.
Yeah. That always sucks. Like, hey, can we get this movie? Oh, Disney owns it now. Fuck. So that sucks.
That's why I doubt we'll get anything more than Aliens out of the Alien films, and we were lucky that the Predator films were already released before. And
that's crazy. Runner, what do you got for us for your third pick of the night?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Are you
swallow it, son?
I was chewing on gum.
Swallow it.
God, no.
You can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Is that what you're saying?
No, oh yeah, this is my third one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What
you got?
This is a very good movie. What was it? This is, I don't know. I wouldn't call this underrated, but it's not the most talked about Christopher Nolan movie, and it's probably my second favorite of his, and that's The Prestige.
I like The Prestige. It's a good one.
It's fucking great. It deserves way more credit than it gets, in my opinion.
That used to be a hard 4K to find.
Yeah, I bought it online for like $20, I think. It was pretty tough, but then I like waited, and then like it was just available to get. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. I like it. It's a nice magician movie. Hugh Jackman kind of goes against a character that he's built up in that movie. You know, he's traditionally portrayed as the good guy, so he was kind of different turn in that movie.
Yeah, and really good.
Yeah, so it's really good. It's good performances by everybody involved in that.
Yeah, Christian Bale is really good in this.
Yeah.
Michael Caine's in it, of course.
Of course.
He's in every Nolan movie.
He's in every Nolan movie.
Scarlett Johansson is ridiculously hot in that movie.
Yeah,
Like
it's got a nice story too.
Yeah, it's got a good story. Like seriously, Scarlett Johansson's ridiculously hot. I'm not even fucking with you. Like if you thought she was hot in like the Marvel movies, this movie's no joke.
It's good. It's good. I like it, and yeah, you better be glad you got that because there was a time when that movie was going for a lot of money and it was hard to find.
Yep.
Les Miserables 4K would be awesome. Which one though? There's like multiple ones, but yeah, it's got a nice little twist ending out there.
I bought this brand new too, so yeah,
that's cool. And you just picked that up?
No, I think I picked it up like last month.
Oh.
I ordered it last month. Like, yeah,
that's cool.
I haven't checked out the 4K restoration, but I assumed it'd be pretty good. I think.
I think it's one of the better ones from what I've heard.
It's the only Nolan movie I have on 4K.
Nice. You don't have The Dark Knight Rises?
Dark Knight, right? You mean the Dark Knight trilogy?
No, just Dark Knight Rises on 4K.
No. Why Dark Knight Rises?
Because that's your favorite one.
No.
That's what I heard.
That's probably my least favorite, if anything. That might be Tom's favorite, but not mine.
But that's a good one, man. If anybody has not seen Prestige, I'd check out Prestige. It actually is a really good film.
Yes.
It's got great performances. It's a good Nolan film.
Really good.
David Bowie's in it. He plays oh my god, what's his name? Tesla. He plays Tesla. So Tom hates Nolan. But that was a good one. Mike, you ready?
Wait, what are Tom? Is Tom even here?
He said he'd be RB.
Yeah, I did see that. I was just wondering if he's seen it or not.
I don't know. Yeah, ask him when he comes back. But let's see what you got, Mike. What do you got for us?
I'm back. I don't hate Nolan. I just hate Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
Have you seen The Prestige, Tom?
No, that's one of them I haven't seen yet. Sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
It's a good one.
Like I said, I've been since the first year. I've been catching up on some stuff that I've just been meaning to get. This one's a documentary that I've watched a couple times on streaming. Just never bought the Blu-ray of it. It is Lost Soul.
What is that about?
Oh, I know what that is.
Okay, this is Lost Soul, the doomed journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau.
I forgot about that one. I forgot to get that one.
Yeah, this is a really good documentary about the making of the 1996 Island of Dr. Moreau.
Val Kilmer
right.
Yeah,
well,
sorry,
Richard Stanley was primarily known for the movies Dust Devil and Hardware, and had always wanted to make the Island of Dr. Moreau. It's his dream project, and he got hired by New Line Cinema to do it, but he was quickly fired from the project by New Line Cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And the documentary is pretty crazy. Like Stanley stayed in the area while they were filming the movie. John Frankenheimer got brought in to take over direction of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley stayed in the area and actually snuck onto the set, and he was an extra in the film. so he would they had all these creature effects, and some of the background creature effects were just people in animal masks and stuff. Well, he's actually in a lot of shots in the movie. It's a really wild documentary, really worth checking out, even though Stanley was canceled recently. It's really good. I highly recommend it. You can get Severn put this out. This is the 3-disc version. Comes with a lot of extras. There's also a recently found German version of the Island of Dr. Moreau film from the 1920s, I believe.
Wow.
That's on this. The Island of Dr. Moreau is one of my favorite novels of all time. I own the Island of Lost Souls on the Criterion Blu-ray. I've got the 77 version. I've got the 96 version on Blu-ray. This is a disc that I've been meaning to pick up for a really long time. I just finally went ahead and did it. So you can actually get this 3-disc version for under $20 now, but I highly recommend it. Very entertaining documentary. Richard Stanley is a character, and it's too bad he's probably not going to be making any more films. So
yeah, so he's canceled. Yeah. So is it like the Hearts of Darkness documentary type thing?
No, Hearts of Darkness is probably the best documentary ever made about a film. This isn't that level, but it's really good. And they interview quite a bit of people. Like Fruza Balk is one of the main people they interview for this.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, because she was the female lead in the film.
Yeah. I remember that movie. That movie was crazy. Because I seen the original, and then I watched that, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, the 96 version of Island Dr. Moreau is a really troubled production. Even after Stanley got fired, things just got worse. It was a miracle this film even got made, even got completed. So
yeah,
because there was problems with Val Kilmer, who I believe was going through a divorce at the time. Marlon Brando was being Marlon Brando. Dialed to 11 during the filming of it. There's all kinds of stuff.
There's
personally, I cut
between that and Apocalypse Now. Can you guess what that is? I'll tell you what that is. I had bagels on the set. That's what the problem was.
The 96 that version is an okay adaptation though, still, even though it's not great. But Stan Winston, I think it was Stan Winston, did the effects. The makeup effects, the makeup effects in it are phenomenal. So, and it is available on Blu-ray, so you might want to check that out if you haven't. Cool. If you haven't seen the 96 one, it's pretty good.
Maybe I just played it as a real doctor, but nobody would let me give them exams. I don't understand. I'm like, bend over. I'm a doctor.
Bend over.
Trust me. Take your clothes off. I'm a doctor.
What can you do with a stick of butter there, Marlon Brando?
Oh my God, I could think of about 100 things right now I could do with a stick of butter.
Also forgot because there are 2 versions of this available. There's a single disc version and a 3-disc version. This version actually has an audio CD that features Richard Stanley reading Island of Dr. Moreau, and that's worth checking out too. So
cool. I'll check that out. I'll look at that. I remember that Mike Myers was inspired by the little guy, and that's where Mini-Me came from for the Mini-Me in the Austin Powers movies. So that's cool. Nice one. See, I like when Mike comes on here with these because he always brings attention to like those stuff like that.
That was all me. That was my idea. That's a true story.
So it was all you. You played both parts at the same time.
No, that was actually Brando's idea, though. I think that was one of his stipulations, wasn't it, Mike?
Oh, was it?
What's that?
That little person had to be in the movie with him.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he had to have him because originally he was only in like a couple scenes, and then that was one of the weird things that Brando kept wanting the little guy in like every scene with him.
It's fucking crazy. Oh man, that's crazy. Now I gotta watch that documentary just to see all the crazy nonsense that went on into the making that movie.
Oh, there are some crazy stories in the documentary. It's really entertaining.
That's great. Cool.
And it's streaming in several places, so it's not hard to find.
That's good to know.
Man, he was the best little actor I ever saw. They should have made a little Oscar just for him. It was like looking into a little mirror.
How did anyone put up with Marlon Brando? These actors these days would be so intimidated by Brando. Of course, they would say he hurt him.
Here's my other stipulation: no pants.
What do you got for us, Brando?
You laugh, but I'm not making this shit up.
I know you. I know. I'm laughing because I do know this stuff is true because I've read about Marlon Brando.
He shot the score with no fucking pants on.
No. That's the thing is, I know some of that stuff, so I know that's why I'm laughing because I know it's true.
You imagine what a nightmare that movie. You got Brando, Edward Norton, and Robert De Niro.
Oh fuck!
Oh man, that director probably wanted to
That
shoot
was
himself
Frank
out into
Oz.
that. Exactly. Frank Oz, he really went crazy on that.
I don't think he's directed since, has he?
Oh, that's
I'm not sure if he has or not.
I don't think he
Oh,
has, to be honest with you.
Well, was Death in the Family after that, or Death at a Funeral after that?
I don't remember.
Is that the movie? The title of the movie is a British film that they redid here in the United States with Martin Lawrence.
No.
I think it was Death at a Funeral. It was a British comedy that Frank Oz did.
Sounds familiar. Might have been, I don't know. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I don't know how anybody put up with Brando.
Death at a Funeral was after, and he did Stepford Wives afterwards too. I forgot about that.
Mm.
Ugh,
Oh,
that was a
Jesus,
bad
that was
movie.
a piece of shit movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the British version of Death at a Funeral is really funny. The Martin Lawrence one is okay, but
Oh, that's right. I forgot it was a remake.
yeah, but the British one is really funny. I really like the British one.
But the best thing is Frank Oz made his best movie right before the score, Bowfinger.
Bowfinger. Oh yeah, I remember that was a good one.
But people forget how many great movies that Frank Oz directed. Beyond the Muppet stuff, right? Like he did Little Shop
Yeah,
of
he
Horrors,
did.
Dirty Rotten
Yep.
Scoundrels. What about Bob?
Yeah.
House Sitter, In and Out.
I've seen Little Shop of Horrors, and I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember not liking it at first.
And
What?
And he directed like half the Muppet movies. And
I
Yeah.
don't know. I just didn't like it.
Little Shop of Horrors is a classic runner.
absolutely, that's one I'm afraid of when they do in 4K. Because I
Yeah.
watched Gremlins again over Christmas, and I really noticed that there was a lot of sped up scenes because they would shoot them at slower frame rates with the Gremlins so they could speed them up to make them look better. And all those are like second or third generation. So it's like, oh, you could tell when they were jumping from the negative to those.
I mean, Greg, there's a few movies that some
Well,
people
Little
like
Shop of
that I
Horrors
don't.
is shot
That's fine.
a lot
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Because like every time the plant's
Puppeteer and
on, it's
stuff.
always shot under sped and then sped up for 24 frames.
Mhm.
So Rick Moranis had to act at like quarter speed or whatever.
That's crazy. But Tom, what do you got for us? What's your pick?
Oh,
This
shit.
is your third pick, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, third pick.
Well, this is a fun one. This is the one I think we'll get Mike to talk the most on, maybe.
Oh, I spit on your grave.
Yeah, I've got that.
I figured as much. Very excellent release. I thought it looked very well done.
It is a really good release. I'm not a huge fan of the movie. The movie has a much better reputation than what it actually is.
Yes.
But that release by Ronin Flicks is really well done. If you're a fan of the film, it's very much worth picking up.
Yeah, it's not a movie that's bad enough to make fun of it. It's not a movie that's good enough to put it in the pantheon of like other classic horrors, but
if you're a fan of that era of grindhouse type filmmaking, you
Right.
kind of have
it's very
to have it in your
watchable.
collection.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
watchable film. It's very well done. It's very much in the vein of things like Last House on the Left.
Yeah, like I
So
said,
that's
if
never
you're
been
a fan
my
of that,
foray.
yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of that era of grindhouse type filmmaking, I Spit on Your Grave, you kind of have to have that movie in your collection along with Pieces and Last
I
House
liked
on the Left and
Pieces.
some other stuff. Pieces is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Pieces.
Oh, you'd
I
like
have
this, Greg. You'd like
Oh.
this. I mean, excuse me, like with knowing going in, like it has this reputation that it's a lot worse than it really is.
See, that's what's always worried me about the movie
Yeah.
because I've always wanted to see it, and I was still surprised they made a remake of it, honestly, because I've heard so much stuff about it, and that's what's worried me. Why one of the reasons I've kind of held off from watching it is because of its reputation. So
Last
coming
House
from
on
you
the Left
guys,
is worse.
okay, so
yeah.
yeah, I really did not like Last House on the Left. So if Last House on the Left is worse, then I could probably handle this movie. Then
Oh, I actually love Last House on the Left, but I mean, as far as like graphic wise and like this,
See, that's
is
why I
more in
didn't
line with
like Last
Friday the
House on the Left.
13th.
Oh,
Like,
okay, yeah.
like outside of the obviously Catalyst scene, which is probably the hardest to watch,
Yeah.
The rest of the movies pretty much like any other slasher film at the time, really.
Is it worse than Mother's Day?
I don't know if I've seen it. Mike, what do you say?
I don't know. It's about on par with Mother's Day, I'd say.
Okay, I've seen Mother's Day. I can handle that then.
I
And for
honestly
the
like
Yeah,
it
it's got a much more heavy reputation than and a lot of that has to do with the marketing for it too. So
I actually liked it a little bit more than what Mike did, obviously. I can see where it would make a decent remake, especially if you did it right. I can see why the movie's been ripped off 12 times till Sunday. In fact, I think this movie itself is actually a rip off of like a French film or some shit like that, or an Italian film. Mike would probably
Makes
know.
sense.
well, I mean, there were a lot of rape revenge films in the
There was
late
one
70s,
specifically
early
they mentioned though, and I
80s.
can't remember what it was, but and of course this was famously a rip-off film, and not in the sense that it ripped off an idea, but they released it twice under two different titles.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
the
they did
first
that
time
a
they
lot.
released it, it flopped as Day of the Woman. And then after the success of a few other horror movies, they re-released it again under the title I Spit on Your Grave, against the director's wishes, but he had no say over it.
I mean, hey, look, when I was a kid, that poster grabbed me. I wanted to see it right away.
You got to respect those poster arts from back in the day, man. That made you watch so many movies that you probably shouldn't have watched at the time.
Honestly, I would say it's a much more polished kind of retelling of a lot like Last House on the Left, right? Like, because Last House on the Left is very uneven. You have this really weird opening with like the goofy cops and shit with Martin Cove and that other guy.
Yeah.
And that kind of shit really doesn't go anywhere. And then you have, finally the setup of the girls and then the murder scenes, which are just, almost unbearable to watch.
Yeah, that's
And
one
then
of the
you get to the
reasons.
revenge plot point, which then, then the movie gets fun. See, like this has more fun with things than that movie. Like, even though there is, it gleans into that, assault stuff and all that kind of stuff. It isn't nearly as seedy and dirty as it feels in Last House on the Left. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, because that was one of the. I mean, I love Wes Craven and everything. He's one of my favorite directors. But that Last House on the Left was a hard watch for me. I didn't quite enjoy that.
This is much better paced than Last House on the Left is. It's a much easier watch in every sense of the term. In the sense, like I said, between the pacing, the tone, how it's shot. This one is clearly shot. They had more money to shoot it and stuff like that. I mean, you can tell. Cast works decent enough for what it is. Nobody really stands out above anybody else. So, I mean, they all service their plot. None of them are like horrid actors, but none of them are like great. You know what I mean? Considering it's comparing it. And here's the thing is I'm kind of comparing it to a film that I'm going to talk about next. So, so that's kind of where I'm coming from on this is like, it could be worse. It could be better, but for all the nonsense that surrounds the movie, I don't get it. It definitely does not deserve to be a video nasty outside of the title.
You should watch Mother's Day and then compare it to that. Cause
I think I've seen it, but I can't remember.
Very few films that deserve to be video nasties.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of those video nasties were not as bad as everybody kept saying. I mean, even they put Evil
like
Dead
Last
on
House
video
on the
nasties.
Left, I could see this not so much. Evil Dead, I can even understand because that's just gratuitous.
Yeah, at times, but like seriously, if you haven't seen it, check out Mother's Day. It's very similar. It's about 3 college women who get kidnapped by these this inbred family these 2 boys and their mother, and they do things. Sort of revenge flick. It's from the Kaufmans.
Well, the weird thing is the guy who made it claims he was inspired more by Texas Chainsaw Massacre or whatever. Or no, that's not this one. That's a different one I'm thinking of, I think. I don't know what inspired this one so much. It's just other than that one movie that it was kind of a remake of that. Because the director, he's like Italian himself, ain't he? Mayor Zarchi or whatever.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to check that out.
let me read a quote from Roger Ebert here about I Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah, which is
Go
hilarious
ahead.
considering he liked Last House on the Left. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Okay. It is a movie so sick, reprehensible, and contemptible that I can hardly believe it is playing in respectable theaters. There is no reason to see this movie except to be entertained by the sight of sadism and suffering.
And he
This
liked
is the
Last House
same
on the
Roger
Left.
Ebert who liked Last House on the Left. Yes. Which
That's
to
crazy.
me is worse in a sense because, first of all, the victim dies.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, at least this is like, it's the same kind of plot, but the only big difference is that the woman herself gets to take revenge as opposed to the parents. Spoilers,
Yeah.
like, so to me, I'm like, wait a minute, Roger. This movie is more empowering for women than the other one because the other one, she dies. And her parents are left to pick up the pieces. In this case,
That's
she gets
true.
to take control of her revenge. And she was left for dead 2-3 times in this movie. So, like, she just keeps bouncing back. And it's like, honestly, like, I found myself getting more into it as the movie went on. I was surprised. I thought I was not going to enjoy it at all. I was really set up for something completely different, though, as Mike probably understands. Like, the reputation this movie has, I was expecting, like, Cannibal Holocaust type shit.
Yeah.
See, that's some movies like that I have held off because of the reputations, and then when I do see them, and it's like that's not at all like what I imagined it would be at all.
Well,
So much
that's the problem.
tamer.
It's not good enough to really write home about, but it's also not nearly bad enough to be like, oh, it's in that bad level of, either that nasty or just that depraved. But no, it's not. It's really kind of tame by today's. Like, most of this shit outside of the nudity, you get away with on its typical CSI episode now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. That's good to know. Good to know. And I will definitely have to check that out finally.
Being more your vein, Greg. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, because like I said,
it's more like Friday the 13th.
Mother's Day, it sounds very similar to Mother's Day. So
it felt a lot like Friday the 13th, to be honest.
So I could get that. Yeah. All right. So, well, I know we've talked about my next pick a little bit before, but I finally got them on for Blu-ray. House. This is the first house. I got the other house over there, but I brought the first one tonight.
You didn't get lucky enough to get the 4-pack?
No, I couldn't get that. Every time I turn on my camera, my internet goes out. So I hope you guys saw that.
Yeah,
it was very fucking blurry.
Yeah, I know my internet. Like I turn on my camera and my internet drops. I don't know what it is.
You know what I feel really bad about is I ended up with 2 box sets because I accidentally pre-ordered 2, and I sold one for like $80.
Damn.
When it came out, and it's probably worth 3 times that now.
Yeah, because you can, and they said they weren't what do you call it, region free, but they were actually all region free. So I would like to have gotten the whole box set with all of them, but I did get the first 2 finally. Got the Arrow Blu-rays of them, and they're I love the House movies.
Really, the only movie you can't get over here is House 4 because the version of House 3 that's in there is this almost exact same thing that Scream released for a horror show.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I only to be honest, as much as I would like to have all 4, I only really like the first 2. I think those are the best ones.
Yeah, the third one's dumb, and I can't even get through the 4th one.
I mean, it's stupid. They're Talking Pete's and stuff. So
there he is.
But yes, look, Mike.
He's got the box that I got. Yep.
Mike's got it all. There you go. That's so cool. See, I would love to have that. I really would love to have that. But I mean, like they said, the first 2, I would probably only ever watch the first 2 out of the whole box set. But I wouldn't love to have that box set. But yes, I finally got them over Christmas, and George Wendt, William Catt, you can't go wrong with it. And then Big Ben, I love the fact that they thought Big Ben was going to be like the next Jason Voorhees or something. That's a good movie.
They're having a house reunion there's one of the horror conventions around here somewhere. I think it's Days of the Dead in Chicago. Maybe they're going to have William Catt, George Wendt,
nice.
and John Ratzenberger.
Oh, nice!
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if the first 2 House movies get a 4K treatment eventually here.
Well, the good thing about that is if they do, I didn't buy House 1 and 2. It was given to me. So I wouldn't be spending extra money on the 4Ks if I upgrade them.
I wouldn't expect them anytime soon, but I
Yes,
wouldn't be
so
surprised.
that's
Because I
good.
think those versions that you have there are 2K scans, if I remember correct.
Yes, brand new 2K restoration from original
Yeah.
film elements. But Runner, I suppose you've never seen the House movies either.
Oh, of course I have. No, I have not. I'm kidding.
I actually like House 2 better.
I go back and forth because I liked William Cat because I liked him from.
I do like William Cat, but House 2
Yeah.
has a much better story.
I do think so
hated-
too because the
I
first
hated
House.
2 when I was a kid.
You hated
Did
it?
you?
I hated it when I was a kid. I like it. I like it now, but I still prefer the first movie. But yeah, House 2, I really hated when I was a kid. I thought it was just too much of a comedy.
See,
when I
that's
was a
what I
kid.
think I liked about it was that it leaned more into the fantasy element.
Yeah, see, I still prefer the first movie has a better balance of horror and comedy, so I still prefer the first one.
It does, but the first I go back and forth on
Vietnam
because I
stuff
can't
really
decide.
turned me off in that first one. Sorry.
The first House kind of bogs down, especially when he has to watch the kid.
Yeah, that's my problem with the first movie. It's not as paced as well as the second.
It kind of takes you out of the movie for a bit when he's babysitting that kid while she's out. It's kind of like, okay, let's move past
Don't
this.
get me wrong; they're both great. Like I
Oh
love.
yeah, they're great films.
Yeah.
Buzz off, got Buzz off,
Buzz off.
Buzz off. But yes, I like them. Runner, I think you might like the House movies. They're probably more your speed.
All right.
They're a lot like
Yeah.
Evil Dead, kind of.
Yeah, if you like the Evil Dead movies and stuff.
Okay.
So,
Just
That-
avoid
that-
3
that-
and 4.
That interests me a little bit.
3 is barely even connect. Like I don't even know why to this day 3 is considered.
I just think they
House
used the name much
It
like
was
the
more-
Prom
it
Night
was-
movies.
marketing outside of the
Sean
US,
Cunningham wanted to use it for marketing purposes. That's it.
which then
Essentially-
makes House 4 even more confusing everywhere.
Yeah,
But
it does. Essentially, Runner, like the first house is this man who's struggling with like Vietnam flashbacks, who's going through sort of like a divorce, and his kid has gone missing. He inherits his, is it his grandmother's? I think it's his grandmother's house.
His aunt.
It's an aunt's
His aunt.
house. She dies and he inherits her house, so he goes there to write his book because he's a novelist, and like he starts getting like haunted by these creepy things and stuff. It's sort of similar to like Evil Dead Part 2 when he starts seeing everything. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
the second film I felt just did a little bit better job of kind of like just
House, the second
utilizing the whole
story.
idea of it. Yeah, like the whole idea of the house having a living entity inside, like the whole like historical part with his grandpa and all that. Like I don't know, I just kind of liked it a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah,
It reminded me a lot of Frighteners later on too, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that one did because like he digs up his grandfather and the cowboy and everything. So that's cool.
And Anthony
but-
Draven asked, "What about Phantasm? I mean, a 4K? It's just sitting there. It's already been remastered in 4K. J.J. Abrams actually
Yeah,
paid
he
for
paid
part of
for it. We got the second one remastered in 4K. So
I'm
I love the
assuming
Phantasm
those
Yeah, I will-
movies.
Go ahead.
I will say I love Royal Dano in House 2. He's a hoot.
Yeah.
I think the
He's-
first.
He's the one that he plays the grandpa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's hilarious in it. And I think the first 2 Phantasms will likely get a 4K at some
Yeah.
point, but that'd probably be it.
Like the first
Yeah.
3 are the best, and then after that they kind of bog down. But I still love the whole story of the
1 and
Phantasm.
3, I think, if I remember right, are the better of the. I
Yeah,
didn't
1 and 3
care
are the
for 2
better.
as much.
Oh, I
Part
love
two-
2.
I love part 2 because it's
I
just
gotta
one of those fun
rewatch it. I think
80s
I was
movies.
always biased because it didn't have what's his face in it, and they recast him. And I hate. the
Oh,
guy that
Mike,
got-
the original Mike.
Part 2 is the first R-rated film I saw in the theater by myself without an adult.
That's understandable.
Hmm.
I have to rewatch them again. It's been a couple years. I know I hated the last one, and 4 was. Meh.
4 was mad. Yeah, the last one was like the tall man. He was Angus Grimm. He was not.
It felt like a fucking fan film. It was like,
Yeah,
what am I?
The CGI
fucking
was
watching?
awful.
Like,
Yeah, it started out as they were doing a web series, and then they
Yeah.
decided to expand it.
Yeah,
and it
And then
feels
they-
like it.
yeah, and they put Angus Grimm's head on some dude's body near the end because he was sick, and I don't know if did he
Yeah.
pass away during the making of it.
I think he passed away while they were
It was
making Mike.
afterwards. It was afterwards. Yeah, shortly afterwards. But yeah,
But yeah, But the Phantasm, I hope we do get like 1 and 2 on like actual 4K. Runner, what do you got for us for final pick of the night?
All right, so final pick. This is an Arrow release. I think this is the second Arrow I have on 4K. I have David Lynch Dune on 4K as well. I showed that I think last week with the new Dune, but this one I actually found on a Best Buy. It's like the collection. It comes with like a little book and a poster, like some of their other releases do, and that's Donnie Darko.
Oh, nice pickup.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It's good. It's a good movie. I really liked it.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah.
What you got, Mike?
My copy that's still wrapped in cellophane.
Isn't that getting a 4K release if it hasn't already?
This is the 4K.
Unpopular opinion. I didn't like it.
I didn't want to say nothing, but I didn't like it either.
Hate the ending. I think it's.
Yeah.
I like the rest of the movie. I hate the ending.
I've only seen the theatrical. There's a director's cut in there too. I'm not sure if that changes much. That was decent.
Mike is the only fan, it seems like, so I ask him.
Yeah, and I think the director's cut was the only. Well, I don't know if the theatrical cut ever got released on Blu-ray until Arrow did. I think the director's cut was the only thing on Blu-ray.
I think I've only seen the director's cut.
I prefer the theatrical cut's way better than the director's cut, actually.
Really?
Oh, good. Because I've always been afraid to say something about Donnie Darko because I know so many people love it.
Yeah,
but it's glad to know I'm not alone here.
I like it. I could totally understand why you wouldn't like the ending, Tom. Like I could see it. Like I'm like, really?
I fucking hate like out of the blue time travel shit like that.
Yeah, just like boom.
Yeah, like
That's why I hated The Arrival.
And me too. I hated The Arrival too.
I was into it until then. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, like the one with Jeremy Renner and
yes,
Amy Adams.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
I did too until they're like time travel shit, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I did not care for it at all, or Donnie Darko.
I thought it was just interesting enough that they were trying to figure out how to talk to these aliens. Like to
The
me, that
Arrival's
was
not
the movie.
The Arrival's not time travel. It's
not time travel.
The movie's just not told chronologically.
Well, no, they have this stupid like epitome moment where like her old self is being told the message from the future, and it's all like, "Are you fucking? What the hell is this?"
It's because she started to think like the aliens did, and they don't think linearly. So it's not really time travel. It's just non-linear thinking.
And Dan Blackroyd here says, "I always found it weird. Kevin Smith is in the director's cut commentary track. Hated the ending too. Just drop the engine at the start and roll credits." Exactly.
I'll admit,
maybe I'll have to give the theatrical cut a try because I hated that director. That's the only version I think I saw.
I'm not sure what the difference is between the director's cut and the theatrical. Because I've only seen the theatrical, but like, I'll admit this. Yeah, the ending is probably my least favorite. I'm like, I like this movie overall. It's pretty good, but I'm like, really? Like, that's the ending?
Yeah, that's one of the movies where it's like, it's a good movie up until the end, and the ending just kills it.
Like, yeah, I think it's a good movie. It didn't like kill it. But...
Touche, Tyrell. Touche.
Yes, The Arrival with Charlie Sheen is a good movie, actually.
I concur.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I think of Arrival's ending, all I can think of is motherfucker didn't know how to end
it. But yeah, Brian Barth, thank you for hanging out with us as always. Appreciate you being here. Have a good night, man.
See you, man.
But I mean, I don't fault you because that is actually a good pickup, a good disc to have because so many people do like it, and it's very important to a lot of people in cinema. So it's good get. It's a good get.
Yeah, I just saw it in like one of the Best Buys, and I'm like, yeah, I'll pick this up. Why the hell not?
All I know is I got sick and tired of the song from it because it was so overplayed.
Yeah. I believe the director that did another movie that I cannot stand, Southland Tales. I think he did that one.
I couldn't even get through that.
I fucking hate that movie. And it's got such a good cast too, and it's just such a horrible movie.
What's it called again?
Southland Tales.
Southland Tells.
Yeah, it's got The Rock, Sarah Michelle Gellar, the guy that played
Well, and that's the
Stifler.
answer to the other question before as to why Kevin Smith's on the commentary, by the way. Because I think they
Oh,
were
Donnie
making that movie.
Darko?
Yeah, because they were making that movie, I think, when they did that commentary. That's why. So
Oh,
Kevin Smith
shit.
went and interjected himself into the Donnie Darko commentary.
As usual. But yeah, at least you're building your collection out there, Runner.
Yeah,
Mike,
I am.
Mike, you ready?
Okay.
Final
this
pick
is
of the
something
night?
else. Okay, this is something else I got for Christmas. It's not a movie.
Okay.
It's a book, and it fits kind of
Ooh, a
in
rare
with what we were
book.
talking about. Yeah, it's called Ad Nauseum. It's by Michael Gingold.
Oh, so badass.
It is a compendium of newspaper advertisements for horror films from the 70s and 80s. Excellent book,
That's awesome.
and
I always see people posting pictures of like old newspaper ads online, and I'm like, I want to get a whole bunch of these.
I used to collect those
so you
myself.
see,
Yeah.
we have I Spit on Your Grave right there. So.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
But he has all the newspaper ads, and then some of the films he actually has little blurbs about each film.
Speaking of, while you got that on, I never got the answers to why it says 5 men when it's 4 in the movie.
They miscount it.
I don't get that. It even says it in the fucking trailers.
Little history lesson, because this has a lot of nostalgic value for me.
I'm actually going to put that on my list right now. Go ahead.
There's also a science fiction version, and there is a version that has ads through the 90s through the aughts also, but it's released through Rue Morgue and 1984 Press. It's Michael Gingold, who's best known for his time at Fangoria magazine. He compiled these books. I'm gonna get the other ones. I'm gonna get the other ones here soon. But until 1975, movies weren't wide released on the weekend they opened. They were released in some theaters and kind of slow rolled because you can only do so many prints. So the Charles Bronson film and Robert Duvall film Breakout was like the first film that opened wide release all across the United States. It was in like over 1,000 theaters when it first opened. And Jaws followed that marketing strategy a few months later. It opened initially in 400 screens in its first weekend, but it quickly jumped to over 1,000 screens. So until the mid 70s, a movie might come out and you might not know when it was hitting your town. And that continued for a lot of smaller independent films, which is a lot of horror films in the 80s and whatnot. So every Friday,
how I saw movies, we had a second run theater basically when I was growing up.
Like every Friday I would rush to get the newspaper to see if the movie I've been waiting to come to town would come to town, and I would check the movie listings in the Friday newspaper, and it was full of ads just like the ones that are reprinted in here. And that's the only way you would know if the movie, like A Nightmare on Elm Street, my town didn't get that when it first came out. I had to wait weeks and weeks for it to actually come to our town. And the only reason I knew that it was playing that weekend is because I looked at it in the newspaper and I saw the ad for it. It says, "Oh, playing, the Colony Square Cinema 2 this weekend." So I lived every Friday looking at ads just like this, just like the ones that are in this book, and it's fantastic. Nowadays, movies get 4,000 screen releases, but
big releases.
Until Jaws, and that's why Jaws was really the first the first blockbuster. Is not just because it made so much money. It made so much money on its first weekend of release that spurred the big studios to release movies in a to take the gamble on to striking enough film prints that they could put movies on over 1,000 screens at once.
Yes,
because traditionally a film would travel around the country because they only had so many prints, and if the movie did really well, they would strike more prints and get it into more and more theaters as it would go out. But Breakout and then Jaws really changed all that in 1975.
Yeah, but that's really cool.
So I would highly recommend this book. I'm going to get the science fiction version of it here pretty soon.
Yeah, I was just looking. They have like a Grindhouse one. They have an 80s and 90s one.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I put that one on my list.
These are a really cool book. I really enjoy this book.
Oh, Hell Night, an American Werewolf in London. Nice.
Yeah, but I didn't know about this book. Somebody got it for me for Christmas, and
yeah, I didn't know they made that.
Yep, that's right up my alley. Because the only type of books I ever buy are it's stuff like this that's about movie stuff. So yeah, somebody saw this and said, "Oh, he collects." Because I do collect movie posters, and yeah, I love this book. It's a great book.
That's cool.
So,
that's cool. And I like that. It's different than a movie because, like, when we talk physical media, I always say it's not just movies. I mean, we're movie collectors, so that's basically what we bring. But it's always cool to see stuff like that too. And like when you bring your CDs, even though we may not be fans of the Beatles, I like when you bring that because it's cool. I love seeing this stuff. I love hearing your guys' thoughts about this. So that's awesome.
Patronize me.
I mean, I'm serious. I really do like it because I like hearing your guys' thoughts about it. And it helps me.
Lots of calories.
But that is awesome. I did put that on my list. I'm going to be buying me one of those here very soon. Tom, what do you got for your final pick? You said I spit on your grade.
I did technically have two more, but
well, you can show them both right now if you want.
Well, one, this is an older film. I don't know how old the Blu-ray is though, because it actually looks like a fairly newer Blu-ray. But it's Serpico.
Ooh,
Al Pacino. Decent cop film.
I like Serpico.
I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that he's the reason that the Internal Affairs exists. That's kind of what the movie's about, is how he's like the only straight cop in every crooked district there is. And then, so that's a good film. Otherwise, I had this other one. This is one that might get a little bit more attention. But I have an issue with it, and I posted it on Twitter, and I talked about it earlier, and I kind of tried asking Mike about it before the show, but he didn't have it, I don't think, yet. But Toolbox Murders, the new 4K from Blue Underground. Pretty much in line with most of their releases. Looks great. Sounds decent for the most part, except for one scene.
Really? In
one scene, about an hour in a bar scene, it sounds like the soundtrack goes out of sync for the whole scene. Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to address it, if there's...
Have you heard if anybody else has had problems with it?
I don't know, but it's you flip over to the mono soundtrack and it's in sync. You flip over to 5.1 or Atmos, which are probably from the same stems, it's completely out of sync. But it's just that scene. So I don't know. Something got slipped out of sync, I think.
When they put it together. Huh. Now, what is the Toolbox Murder? Because I've seen Serpico. I like Serpico. But what's the Toolbox Murders?
The Toolbox Murders. Actually,
it's exactly what it's exactly what it sounds like.
This movie is fucked up.
Oh, really?
And not in a way like I wish I could be like Tammy and the T-Rex fucked up.
Oh, man.
It's more so just like, okay, you've got Cameron Mitchell in it. Most people know him. And then Pamela Ferdine.
I forgot Cameron Mitchell was in it.
And Pamela Ferdine, for those who don't know, I think she played the daughter on Odd Couple, and she was also most famously the voice of Fern on the Charlotte's Web animated version. But she was 17 when she made this movie, and she didn't make very many after it. But yeah, the plot. Okay, this is the one I was talking about earlier, where they basically wanted to make a movie like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it feels more like they watched Halloween. If I got to be honest with you, but it doesn't have nearly the style or the finesse that Halloween has. It goes completely off the fucking rails 2/3 of the way through. Cameron Mitchell is fucking batshit crazy in it. I don't want to give away the plot because there isn't really much of a plot. But like Mike just said, pretty much it's just a series of women getting killed with various tools. And then there's a whole kind of kidnapping storyline that goes with it. And incestual storyline that goes with it.
because like I explained, I mean I like Wes Craven, but I didn't like Last House on the Left, and that movie is brutal, for lack of a better word.
As far as the brutality factor, that's
Yeah, it's not.
no, it's more so just the fucked upness.
It's just kind of it's just sleazy.
And it goes off the rails completely at the last act. Like one character has a turn that makes no fucking sense.
Now I'm kind of interested.
Cameron Mitchell he's hamming it the fuck up in this movie, man. Like he thinks he's given the performance of a lifetime. I swear to God. Help me out here, Mike. This movie is a piece of work.
Tom's just like, I don't know how to explain this.
It's grade A sleaze. I love it.
I mean,
back to Serpico though. you ever seen Prince of the City?
No, what's that one?
This was recently released by Warner Archive. It's another Sidney Lumet movie. It's about undercover police officers. It stars Treat Williams. Very good underseen film. If you like Serpico, you probably like Prince of the City also.
I'll check that one out.
I've never seen that one, so yeah, I'll check that one out myself. But I'm about to check out Toolbox Murders too, because now you've got me interested in this. Much like the Greasy Strangler, I'm gonna have to.
Oh, Greasy! This ain't got shit on Greasy Strangler, but
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It is definitely an exploitation. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, it probably deserves the moniker of video nasty, but not so much for the
just because the nonsense that takes place in it, the craziness.
I wish I could tell you because I don't want to spoil it for you.
I
can't wait till you see it.
It's just sleazy. I mean,
yeah,
that's about it.
Let me put it to you this way: I pointed out that Pamela Ferdin she was 17. Well, she turned 18 while they were making the movie. They tried to pressure her into doing the nude scene.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I get you. I hear you.
Yeah, let's just say that as dirty as I thought I would feel after watching I Spit on Your Grave, I felt that way after watching Toolbox Murders.
Oh.
The other thing,
yeah. Toolbox
Murders,
well, I don't know.
I mean, as far as the exploitation side of things, Toolbox Murders makes fucking I Spit on Your Grave look like Care Bears.
Yeah, there's a lot more nudity. There's a lot more nudity in Toolbox Murders.
And at least in I Spit on Your Grave, it takes the assault seriously, right? Like, I mean, in this movie, like you have random, like, okay, I can give this away. There's one scene where a chick just masturbates in the fucking bath for like fucking 5 minutes just because movie.
Now, see, that's the craziness and stuff. Like, you watch like I talked about Nightmare Sisters, where they just get naked, take a bath for like 20 minutes.
That's half this movie.
I mean,
then
that's
the other
done
half
in
is
fun,
Robert,
sort of. But
Cameron Mitchell. I don't. I keep wanting to call him Robert Mitchum. It's Cameron Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell.
Yeah, Cameron Mitchell just acting batshit fucking crazy. Like, I mean, that's the rest of the movie, and not in a really cool, fun way either. It's in like a creepy, fucking weird way.
That's nuts. I'll try to check that out. It sounds interesting, but I don't know, man. I don't want to feel really dirty after watching something like that.
It's not that bad. It's just one of those movies where you're like, and obviously Mike liked it better than I do, but that's the thing is we kind of, obviously I liked I Spit on Your Grave more than this film, but this film, it was much more entertaining in a sense of Cameron Mitchell's performance.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of all the late 70s, early 80s slasher films. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to write home about as far as any of the effects or anything like that, and nothing groundbreaking here.
This is another one where the marketing campaign was very effective for the Toolbox Murders.
And that's the thing is, Tobe Hooper's remake of it years later has very little in common with this, from what I know.
Yeah, I've actually never seen.
I haven't seen it either, but yeah.
Interesting. But we do have a $5 super chat here real quick, and this is for you, Tom, from T-Nil89. That's not Tom. It's a fraudulent, grumpy imposter. How the hell are you still awake, sir?
I should be asleep at this point.
Me too. But
no, I did highly enjoy Serpico, though. Like, Serpico is a really good film.
Yeah, Serpico is really good film.
Really, really good.
T-Nail89, welcome for being here, and thank you. And for that, I will give you a little something of Tom's singing. Where's it at? If I can find it. I can never find it on here because I don't use these too often. Here it is. 80s night.
Oh, yes, it's 80s night, and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's 80s night, oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Oh, yes, it's 80s night, and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's 80s night, oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Runner, you got to go. You want to say anything before you leave?
Past his bedtime.
Yeah.
No, it's not that, but I mean, I need to like organize my sleep schedule because I just started school again.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on. Have a good night, and I enjoyed your picks, man. And drop your channel in the chat when you go, so I'll put it up for you.
I will, yeah. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And before I leave, tomorrow on Leg Gaming Lounge, we are having a 50th. What is it? What are we calling the show again? The Thursday show or some shit. It's like our 50th one, and we're gonna do some channel announcements because it's gonna be a lot of changes moving forward because of.
Are you getting a transition?
No, no, none of that bullshit. Just gaming news in general. We're gonna talk about that stuff and just it's a channel announcement as a whole.
All right.
So stay tuned for all that.
All right, we'll drop your link in the chat, and thanks for coming on, man.
I'll drop both of them.
There you go. Have a good night.
Night.
And my last pick. I haven't got a chance. I do like to make sure I've watched stuff like Tom when he brings it on, but I haven't got a chance to watch all these. But I finally got this, and Tom showed his here on here before, but I had to bring mine because I finally got it, and that's the classic Universal Monsters.
Nice.
Film 32 film set. I got it for Christmas. I've been waiting for this, and I know my camera went out. Son of a bitch, my camera went out again. I could tell that it dropped. But for those who didn't see it, it's the classic Universal Monsters. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of these. I know there's, people like the Hammer Horror, but the Universal Monsters to me has always been my favorite. Yeah.
Children of the night, the music they make.
Yeah, I'm one of those. My first love was Hammer horror films.
I mean, I love the Hammer horror films too. I really do. But I just remember watching the Universal monsters growing up as a kid more than the Hammer. But I love them both. Don't get me wrong.
Honestly, that's the set I was talking about. I think I brought that same set when I said yeah, that's one of the few 4K upgrades. I was like, yeah, pretty much get the same thing almost in the other versions. I didn't really get that much more of a boost, I felt like, because those are from the same masters. So
yeah, they're already mastered in 4K. So, but I love it. Finally, to have all the Draculas, Frankensteins, the mummies, the Wolfman, Invisible Man,
excellent
creatures.
Fucking set, man.
It's such a great set.
That was my only complaint, is they could have saved on some room and probably some of the production costs if they hadn't doubled up on so many. But basically, what they did is all those are separate releases, and they just threw them all together in a box set.
They did. Like two of them have.
Yeah, I hope you like 3 copies of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
I got 3 copies of Abbott and Costello and 3 copies of House of Frankenstein. So. But yeah, I mean, I like the Abbott Costello ones, and I like how they actually continue the story from the thing. So, but it's still, I've been wanting to get this box set for a while, and I finally got it. So, I was happy to get it. Yes, and
I've got the standalone Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and then I've got that set. So,
oh good God.
So you own it 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
No, but I don't know if you were here, Mike. I went and bought, because I couldn't get my hands on that fucking box set. the Universal one. So I just broke down and bought Frankenstein and Dracula in 4K. And after watching them, I'm like, yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, it's a little bit better upgrade, but not like major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the 4K set. So.
Yeah, I couldn't get my hands on it. Now you can, but
Yeah.
I got it through Grev.com for I only paid like $38.99 for it through them.
Oh,
that's
you're
the
lucky.
shitty part is what I paid for those steel books. I could have bought probably 2 of those box sets, but
Yeah.
I learned the hard way that I probably won't buy any more of those 4K releases.
Yeah. And speaking of which, the Mummy is coming out on 4K.
Yeah, we brought that up earlier, and then
Did we?
I don't know if we did here though. I think you're right. I think we talked about it on 4K for you, but I think that's signaling
the 1932 Mummy.
Yeah, the 1936.
I think they're going to do another box set. I think it's going to have that.
Oh yeah, they got
Bride of Frankenstein,
Creature and Phantom, probably.
And who knows whatever the fourth.
Probably Phantom of the Opera. Probably.
Yeah, probably Phantom. Yeah, I didn't think of that one.
Those are usually the 8. There's the core 8 films that they tend to release together, and they did the first 4, so now they'll do the second 4.
I mean, I might eventually if I can get the box set for dirt cheap. And maybe see, that's the thing with that set. If that second set, the only one I'd be interested in would be Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, see, I gotta have Creature. I got the
I got the 3D version already. Why do I want the fucking?
Personally, I like them all. I like every one of them. So
all I need is a 3D version of the Creature, man. That's kick ass in 3D. So
that's another thing. I'm going back right now and buying it. Is the Hammer films that Scream
I do
Factory.
Got a bunch of those, yeah.
Because I've got every Hammer horror film on Blu-ray, but a lot of them are imports from Studio Canal. But so I'm going back and buying all the Scream Factory releases because they've upgraded the picture and they've got more extras on the Scream Factory titles. Yeah. So I've gotten like 5 of them so far this month. I've ordered 5 of them. So
I've been meaning to get through the Hammer horror stuff. So because I do like the Hammer horror stuff. It's just I was more akin to the Universal monsters.
Yeah, they showed the Hammer horror stuff on late night television when I was growing up. So
yeah, that's where I remember seeing them the most.
I saw the Universal stuff too, but when I was younger. But I have like really good memories of watching late night television with the Hammer horror and the American International Pictures horror pictures. Also.
Yes. And I like what Maisha Eugene says here. Okay, everybody, good night for the 16th time. Oh, let's talk 45 minutes more about stuff. It happens, you know.
Yeah. No, I got that red box set they put out for the Hammer. I got a bunch of the singular ones. I think I got all the Draculas.
That's ones I really want to get, the Dracula ones.
But I got the import of the first one because that's the better version from what I know of.
Yeah, that's the version of Dracula, and I've got 2 copies of Curse of Frankenstein. I got the UK one, and I got the Warner Archive one. The Warner Archive one's really good.
Yeah, I don't remember all the ones that are in that red box set, but I got a couple of doubles because of that one too. But like,
yeah, Scream Factory's re-releasing all of those because I just got.
I think most of them are the same prints, but yeah, they just got extras and stuff now. Yeah.
Didn't Vampire Lovers that just came out? Didn't that have a problem?
They had the censored version. There's there's a missing shot of nudity in the release version. They're doing a replacement for it.
I was wondering what the deal was with that.
I'll probably just wait then.
Yeah, I just got Dracula Prince of Darkness in the mail the other day. That's the Scream Factory version, even though I had the Studio Canal UK one. So
yeah.
All right. I guess that's it for the night. I guess we'll be closing it down. Any final words from you guys before we shut it down?
Hopefully I hear from Blue Underground about what the hell happened to Toolbox Murders and that's
yeah. I hope you get an update for that and let us know next week.
Bill's usually good about getting back with posts on Twitter and stuff. So
yeah, I haven't heard anything.
You probably will hear back from him eventually.
Yeah.
He monitors Twitter pretty closely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hopefully.
Well, I thank you guys, Tom, Mike, Runner, for being here tonight. Good picks tonight. Good lessons to learn about Toolbox Murders and other stuff. And the Ad Nauseum, I'm definitely getting one of those books. Yeah, I put that on my list. And Thank you to the chat, everybody that's watched out there, and everybody in chat. Make sure Eugene, HVP, Brian Barth, Random Brad Creator, Cosmic Squirrel, Steven Cicito. I hope I said his name right. Tyrell 72, TNL 89, and what was his other name? Preston, I believe it was, who also gave a $5 super chat. Ted Milich, Dan Blackroyd. And if I forget you, I apologize, but thank you all for hanging in the chat. Chat was awesome tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed our little show. And as always, when we go,
how you doing? Bitches leave.